All right, we're live. All right, Thursday night football, opening day of the 100th NFL season. Again, we've talked quite a bit about the Thursday night game, but just for the sake of being thorough, let's do it one more time. We'll be taking your calls. If you want to call in, the number is 509-731-0567. In addition to the Thursday night game, we'll look at the other games this week. We'll go deeper than we have already. Keep peeling back the onion until we can find as many good, clean riddles as possible for week one. We've already got a few. And while we're at it, we can also browse around and just see what's in the headlines. What are some numbers the media's throwing out about today's game? But again, let's look at what we've already gone over for Thursday, September 5th. I think there's a really strong riddle that pays tribute to football should the Bears win. It's not a one-way street for the Bears, so let's go over it. Again, it's Thursday, September 5th, 2019. We got the Packers at the Chicago Bears, NFC North rivalry. Remember, the Bears are one of two teams in the NFL that'll be playing in their 100th season. The Bears and the Cardinals are the only two teams. The Packers have officially been established for 100 years. They turned 100 years old, but haven't played in 100 seasons on August 11th of this year. So, today's date numerology, 53. And again, crucial number, big number on tonight's game. 53 is the 16th prime number. Again, in Super Bowl 53, you saw 16 points scored. 26 could also play in tonight's game. Aaron Rodgers comes in with 100 regular season wins. If he did win tonight, he'd get his 101st win, which is the 26th prime. But this riddle with 53 and the Bears, to me, is better because it connects to the team head-to-head and it connects to the Bears quarterback, so we're going to get to that. Packers are definitely a team that have a shot at the Super Bowl this year. It's noteworthy that Green Bay Packers equals 150 in the ordinal cipher, and today is 150 days from the Super Bowl. Keep in mind, this is the first Thursday night football game in some time where it doesn't have the defending champion playing in the game. Last year, the Eagles played. They won the game. Last year's riddle was really easy to see. It was all structured around the number 26, which was favorable for the Eagles. The year before that, the Patriots lost to the Chiefs. The year before that, you had a rematch of the Panthers and the Broncos, if I remember correctly. And so this year they're doing things a little bit different. And it seems that this year they're paying tribute to 100 because you have two teams for the 100th NFL season. And remember, in the most pure cipher, the National Football League equals 100. So I think this is why they're doing this time around. Two teams with connections to 100. For the Bears, it's their 100th season. For the Packers, they've been established for 100 years. So, again, Rodgers going for the 101st regular season win. Trubisky going for his 16th win, period. Both numbers connecting to the date numerology. And for today's game, they are doing this Hall of Fame tribute. Again, this brings further emphasis to the number 53. The Bears could get their 53rd regular season win versus the Packers today. Walter Payton and George Halas are having, well, it says the Bears will unveil statues of Hall of Famers Walter Payton and George Halas outside of Soldier Field on September 3rd. So they already did this. They're going to bring attention to this at the game. And remember, Walter Payton, 53. George Halas, 53. Tonight, on the 53 date numerology, the Bears can get their 53rd regular season win against the Packers all time. It's going to be the 199th game between both teams. 199 is the 46th prime number. Chicago equals 46. You have an over-under. Let's see if they've changed the over-under since we looked at it a few days ago. So it's climbed. It's climbed to 46.5 points. A real Chicago tribute would be a game right at 46 points. Remember last year, the Packers won the first game 24-23. You had a score of 47 points. But Chicago, 46, 199th game all time, the 46th prime. Chicago's a 3.5 point favorite. Chicago equals 35 as well as 46. Again, this is why you want to know your base ciphers. You see how in the spread and the over-under, they pay tribute to Chicago in two numbers. Plus, again, it's the 199th game, the 46th prime. All right, so I'm going to update this. OU has moved to 46.5 at game time. Well, it's not quite game time. There's a chance it could move again, but it'll probably stay right there. Okay. They play again in week 15. The Packers lead the Bears 96-94-6 in the regular season. If the Bears did win today, that means they'd get their 95th win on September 5th as well. 9-5. And technically, tonight's game doesn't count as Thursday night football because it's under the Sunday night football schedule, but it is still Thursday night football, even though it's on the Sunday night football schedule. But if you look at the official TV broadcast for Thursday night football and Sunday night football, you'll see that this game is under the Sunday night football schedule, and we'll have the Sunday night broadcast team, which is NBC. But it is interesting that Thursday night football is 95 as well. Bears could get that 95th win tonight. And in the regular season at Chicago, Bears can pick up their 53rd win. Again, we talked about how both statues, 53 date numerology. If you go to the all-time stats, including the playoffs, the Bears are already at 53 wins. But what I've learned from doing this is it's better to look at the regular season stats in the regular season most of the time. Sometimes it does seem there's an exception to the rule, but I've just noticed regular season in the regular season seems to pay the dividends. So picking up that 53rd on the 53 date makes a lot of sense. The Packers are 3-0 versus the Bears on Thursday. Now, if this was a Thursday night football game, if this was a typical TNF game, I would like the Packers tonight. And if the Packers do win, this is going to have to be a note that you jot down for next year, and it's only going to come up something that's going to come up once a season. But on Thursday night football, typically, again, week 1 is the only game that is not on the TNF schedule. This game is on the Sunday night schedule, but typically 40 is a huge number on Thursday night football. TNF is 40, Packers is 40. Packers do have a chance to improve to 4-0 versus the Bears on Thursday. So that's something that's out there for the Packers. We're going to talk more about the Thursday night, Sunday night football discrepancy. The game is 277 days after Rodgers' birthday today. That's the 59th prime number. Today can be written 5/9 like 59. One of the breaking news stories right now is that a country singer died in an accident. Accident equals 59. 59 is also the 17th prime number. Rodgers is going for his 17th win versus the Bears in the regular season. He already has 17 wins all time. So this is what I mean. Rodgers does have a few things going on tonight. Rodgers is 157-1 in the regular season. And remember, the National Football League equals 100. This is the opening game of the 100th season. If Rodgers sits on that 100 wins versus the Bears in their 100th season, you can see the symbolism. And remember, the National Football League is 134 too, because that's a big part of the Bears' riddle tonight. So, Rodgers is 39-41 away in the regular season. And I've never seen anything that would... this scenario is just so interesting. Because Sunday night football equals 39-42, and these numbers play big on Sunday night football week after week. So this is under the Sunday night football schedule. It is with the Sunday night football crew. If Rodgers loses, he'll be 39-42 away in the regular season, just like SNF is 39-42. Now, Thursday night football is 40-41. And notice if he won tonight, he'd be 40-41. So it's hard to believe just like how tight this is to look at. But even though it's Thursday, it is technically scheduled under Sunday Night Football. All time, Rodgers is 109, 64 and 1, 44 and 46 away. And his all-time stats make things interesting as well, because if he won tonight, he'd be 45 and 46. Bears is 45, Chicago's 46 using the alphabetic order. So Rodgers' all-time record could make sense with a W. Rodgers is going for his 101st regular season win tonight. 101's the 26th prime. You do have a 26 date numerology. The word bear, the singular, just using the alphabetic order, is 26. Rodgers for his career is 16 and 5 versus the Bears in the regular season. Again, we have 53 date numerology, the 16th prime. He could stay at 16 wins. And I'll also remind you that when you write out 6, it equals 16. Kind of like how Brady got his 6th Super Bowl in Super Bowl 53 last year, where 16 points were scored. So he could become 16 and 6 on this date, which would make some sense. Rodgers has 17 wins all time against the Bears. ESPN's 18, Bears is 18. He's going to play the Bears again later this year in Green Bay. Rodgers is 7 and 3 at Chicago. And that does stand out because football is 83. Big number with football, 83. Mitch Trubisky's also 83. But for the Bears, I just can't get over this riddle. The game is 134 days after Matt Nagy's birthday. 134. And remember, the National Football League equals 134 and 100. And the shape of the football, the Vesica Piscis, equals 134 and 53. So Matt Nagy, if he wins today, he will be 13 and 4 as a coach in the regular season. 13 and 4, 134 days after his birthday. The game's 16 days after Trubisky's birthday, and he's going for his 16th win. Again, 53, the 16th prime. So if Nagy wins and Trubisky wins, you get a perfect tribute to the shape of the football, the Vesica Piscis. And that lines up for the team win records as well. The Bears getting their 53rd regular season win versus the Packers all-time on the 53-date numerology. When I say regular season win, I mean at Chicago. At Chicago. They'd get their 95th win in the regular season on September 5. Trubisky, he's 15 and 11 in the regular season. He's 9 and 5 at home. Comes in 9 and 5 on September 5th. Freemasons 96, Masonry's 105. You can get a Freemason tribute either way. And that's what we're looking at. So to me, it's just the Bears riddle is stronger. It pays tribute to the date numerology. It pays tribute to the 100th NFL season. And it pays tribute to the shape of the football. That said, the NFL is a very quarterback-driven league, and Rodgers does have a nice alignment for a W. But at the same time, remember, you can make sense of Rodgers staying on 100 wins to open the 100th NFL season, and you can also make sense of him staying on 16 wins versus the Bears on this date. Again, they're going to play Week 14. So Week 15, excuse me. Their next match is Week 15 in Chicago. December 15th at the Packers. And let me think more about that date, December 15th. It's the day leaving 16 days left in the year. So Trubisky should be well past his 16th win by then. The Bears could... Well, the Bears will either come in with 52 regular season wins or 53. If they're already at 53, be a good day to stay on 53, the 16th prime. Caller?
What up, Zach? Hey, man, I got a question.
Yeah.
Why we not doing tennis?
How many hours are in a day, man?
I know, man, but
There's your answer.
We're stupid not doing it because it's like Venus Williams, she plays tonight. Like, we should just be doing, like, the main people. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying do, like, a whole Dakota. You feel what I'm saying, dog? Like, we should be doing it's the U.S. Open. You feel what I'm saying?
Not really.
Huh?
I mean, I hear what you're saying, but it's like, I mean, there's only so many hours in a day, so.
I know, man. I know you're working hard, but fuck that baseball shit. We should be doing, like, U.S. Open and do football right now.
Well,
you know
we just won literally every day in August on baseball, so. And looks like the majority of games are already right this morning too. So I mean,
well, her game is at 7 tonight. She plays that one tall white girl, Makova, whatever. I forgot her name. So, I don't know. I'll just do it myself. I was just bringing it up to your attention. But one thing I noticed is Aaron Rodgers is born in the year of the pig, and it's the year of the pig right now. So Aaron Rodgers is going to have a good season.
Yeah, so, I agree with that.
And then I watched Good Morning America this morning, and they showed the Sunday night football instead of Thursday night football. So, and one last thing, and I'll let you do your thing. The recommendation I saw is everybody need to watch the pregame show. Because with the pregame shows, Zach, they usually give you a clue of who's going to win. So everybody, you just got to watch it from start to finish. Don't blink an eye. Have your Gematria, everybody out there listening, have your Gematria calculator ready. Because they're going to give you a clue. Like, you know what I'm saying, Zach? They'll be like, it's been 10 years since the Bears won, and they're 16-10. You know, NBC equals 17. So it'd be like a clue like that.
Sure.
That, give you the tip to who's going to win. So that's what I recommend to everybody. I recommend don't make a bet till 10 minutes before game time because the pregame show 9 times out of 10 going to give you a clue who's going to win. So.
All right.
That's pretty much all I got to say. And I got a couple, remember, like I gave us a good tip on those football games Saturday. We got to do Fresno State, Minnesota. Minnesota's a favorite over Fresno State. Fresno State just almost beat USC Saturday. Minnesota sucks. Another game, Texas versus LSU. That's top 10 game. And the point spread is pretty good. And there was one more I think of, and I have to text it to you. But those are good games that we should do for College Football Friday tomorrow.
All right. Sounds good.
All right, man.
Later, man.
Have a good day.
See you. Caller?
Yes. All right. So, I mean, we're still on the Green Bay and Steelers game, but can I talk about another game that I reviewed yesterday?
Right. Yeah, you can talk about other games.
Okay, so going back to the Steelers and Patriots, you know how you was like, if Tom Brady beats Big Ben, he can go 5-0?
Right.
Well, if you notice, Ben's record against the Patriots is 4-9, and if he wins, that could be 5-9, which 59 is the 17th prime number, right?
Right. Pittsburgh also has a 59 connection.
Yes, and Mike Tomlin equals 59, and from Bill Belichick's birthday to the game is 145 days. And Ben Roethlisberger could pick up his 145th win. And then, the all-time record is 16-16 between the Patriots and Steelers, correct?
Let's see. Patriots 12-15 versus Steelers in regular season and 16-16 all-time.
Yeah, 16-16. So whoever wins is going to get their 17th win. Right?
True.
So Tom Brady, if he gets his 71st loss, that should be the reflection of 17
I'd look more at that regular season record though before I looked at the all-time record. So.
Oh, okay.
Like I always say, regular season seems to be more important in the regular season. But it's okay to look at both. But just in the regular season, usually the regular season stats are more important.
All right, so
If the Steelers win, though, what's been saying out to me about the Steelers is if they won, they would become the Patriots would fall to, or the Steelers would become 5-6 versus the Patriots at home on a 56 date numerology. So Steelers definitely have a narrative.
But do you think it's more stronger for the Patriots with the 5-0?
Well, I'm gonna do more analysis on that game and several of these other games too. So we can go back and look at their Sunday Night Football records as well and see what they've done on Sunday night and how their record will add up based on a win or loss.
Yeah, don't you think it's a little interesting that Bill Belichick's birthday is exactly 145 days?
And how Big Ben's going for his 145th win?
Yep.
Yeah, that is interesting. So.
Yeah, but you can go back to it. I'm about to, watch.
Okay. All right. Appreciate it. All right, I was gonna pull up what they're writing about tonight's game. Let's just see if we can get any stats they're throwing out there. Anything about Week 1 performance for the teams? Let's see. Game details. Here we go. Alrighty. Let's see. Insights. Caller?
Hey, Zach. Earlier, did you mention something about if Chicago White Sox lost, it would be good for the Bears?
Well, I said it could be that way because sometimes sports trade off, and it looked like the White Sox were winning today.
Yeah, they won.
What was the final score of that game?
I think 7-1.
I guess I can look it up here real quick. All right, let's see. The Phillies. 7-1. 17.
That's that 17 again that you were just talking about.
All right. Yep. So,
Oh, that was a different game. That was the
well, 17 factored into the game tonight too, because it's 277 days after Rogers' birthday, which is the 59th prime, and then 59 is the 17th prime. He's on 17 all-time wins versus the Bears, and he could pick up his 17th regular season win. So,
all right.
I see the Indians had 153 pitches thrown, which is the 17th triangular number as well.
Wow.
So that's very interesting.
That's got to be organic, right?
No, man, you look at the box scores, it's like this almost every day. It's scripted.
Yeah, but they can't throw a strike every time they want to throw a strike.
Did you ever play baseball?
153 times.
Did you ever play baseball?
Yeah.
Were you a pitcher?
I was a pitcher and a shortstop.
Well, just like me. So.
Right on.
These are major leaguers, man. They can put the ball where they need to put the ball. So.
I made varsity when I was in 10th grade, so I was pretty good.
Yeah, these are major leaguers, though, man. They can put the ball where they need to put it.
153 times every time where it needs to be a ball or a strike. I don't think they can do that. I think that's more organic.
All right. Well, you're entitled to your opinion.
Maybe you got the umpires helping you a little bit, but 153 times,
Well, you start looking at box scores night after night, it's this way, so.
Wow. Anyway, on that New England game, Ben could go 4-1, and isn't Tom Brady 41 years old?
He sure is. Well, no, he just turned 42, actually. He turned 42 August 3rd.
Oh, okay. Good enough. All right, Zach.
All right. Appreciate it, man.
You bet. Bye.
That's it. Okay, so 7-1, 17. There's a little 17 riddle there. That 17 could play either way for Rodgers. He could pick up his 17th regular season win. 4-1 to start this game. Oakland 41, LA 41. Okay. Let me see. I'm trying to pull up an article here. Packers, Bears preview.
On a touchdown since 2015 against Chicago in Chicago.
I was just reading that little blurb that he's been having a low fantasy production at Chicago. Yeah.
Yeah, today has like a prop bet of over 2.5 field goals. So I think it might go that. But the thing I wanted to bring up, so that Tigers game worked out, and during it they were talking a lot about Boyd in comparisons to Verlander. And during the game, they had 3 home runs in an inning. And if you take the last names of the 3 batters who got the home runs, Dixon, Lugo, and Mercer, that equals 84 in full reduction. Tigers equals 84. And if you look at the score, it was 4-6. Matthew Boyd, the pitcher, is 46.
Huh.
I just wanted to add that. It looks like it was a ritual game for Boyd.
Sure.
And so next year you might be pretty good.
Sure. And I know there was something with his record today that looked good, too, when we looked at it this morning. So
I think he's going to win his next decision. Or win or no decision. He's going to get to 9 and 10, I think. Like Detroit equals 91.
okay, that could make some sense. Let me see. Where's he at? Boyd got his 30th win today. KC 113, 30th prime. And he became 5-9 versus the Royals. Kansas City Royals 59. So yeah.
Yeah, the Royals at one point were on 3 runs, 11 hits. So
Okay. Yeah, nice.
Anyways, I just wanted to add that. Thanks again.
All right, yeah, appreciate it. Thanks. Okay. The Green Bay Packers have dominated their rivalry with the Chicago Bears since Aaron Rodgers has led the green and gold offense, but Chicago went 12-4 last year, qualified for the playoffs, and returned to the top-ranked defense. Green Bay has a new head coach and new outlook, and the 2 NFC hopefuls face off in the 2019 NFL kickoff game on Thursday night at 8:20 p.m. Soldier equals 82. Soldier Field. Eastern time from Soldier Field. Matt LaFleur takes over as head coach in Green Bay, while Matt Nagy enters his second year in Chicago. So he comes in 12-4 to his sophomore year. That's funny. Of course, it's not that way every year for every rookie coach. Rookies 35 and 37 like Chicago. Okay. The latest Packers versus Bears odds show Chicago has a 3-point favorite, down from the opening line of -4. And now it's at 3.5 when we just looked. The over-under or total points Vegas thinks will be scored is 46.5. Remember, Chicago's 46. It's the 199th game, the 46th prime, after opening at 46. In the 17-year history of the NFL kickoff game, the home team has won 14 times. Okay, so does that mean the home team is 14-3 or 14-2 is what I want to know. In the set, so is this the 18th year? Here, I guess I can look that up. Hold on. When was the first kickoff game on Thursday? Let's see this. Introduced in 2002. From 2004 onward, the defending Super Bowl champion has hosted the kickoff game with a couple of exceptions. 2013, the defending champion Baltimore Ravens opened on road because of a conflict with a previously scheduled Orioles baseball game. And in 2019, will not play. Yeah, we know that. Packers and Bears. Okay. Let's see. We probably got all the games right here. Let's see. So the 49ers beat the Giants in the first ever. Jets to the Redskins. Colts lost to the Patriots. Raiders lost to the Patriots. Dolphins to the Steelers. Saints to the Colts. Redskins to the Giants. Titans to the Steelers. Vikings to the Saints. Saints to the Packers. So the Packers are 1-0. That game was at home though. Cowboys beat the Giants on the road. Ravens lost to Broncos. 41 points. Super Bowl rematch. Super Bowl 41. Chiefs beat the Patriots on the road the other year. Last year was the Wara 18-12 riddle. And so the Packers are 1-1 in kickoff games. So it's the first time Chicago has ever played in a kickoff game. Okay. If the Packers lost, they'd be 1-2 in kickoff games. Chicago and Packers both have that 37. Oh yeah, the records are just right here. 1-1. They've scored 58 and had 70 scored against them. I'm just going to jot these notes down. Whoops, wrong place. Come back to this. Caller?
Hello, I'm from Indiana.
Yeah?
This is Charles.
Yeah.
We was working on a decode publicly. I thought about it, and I'm going to go ahead and I'd like to give you the information and email it to you, and then we could do it if you like to do it that way.
You don't just want to present it right now?
Well, I mean, I have some of it, but I do it if I could email it. I don't care really. I'm already out to the public. I don't really see really so much about my name. I'll give it to you so you can run it, okay? And I want you to see what you think. We investigated this morning. We laugh about how some things, and they match. And I think I should put my name in there and see where I was supposed to be at, but I didn't commit. Okay? I'm the guy that don't do it. And they hate me for it. So I'm going to give you my name. I want you to run it, okay?
Hold on. Do you know that I'm on a live stream right now, right?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, okay. Is this football related?
Pardon me?
Is this football related?
Well, no, it's not. And I'm trying to figure that out too. I'm having a hard time. We have a new gambling casino going up today.
Okay.
I need to make that bet. Again, so you're on a live stream. Which one can I feed into and listen?
Yeah, so we're doing a live stream right now on Patreon. We're talking about Thursday night football and the Week 1 games.
Okay, is it how do I get in? Because I was looking for you, I couldn't find you.
If you go to any of my YouTube videos and look in the description, there's a link that says patreon.com, and you just click that link.
Okay, I'll join you, and then me and you will talk later about something else, okay?
All right, sounds good, man.
Thank you very much.
Yep,
you're
welcome.
doing a great service to the public. Thank you.
You got it. Take care, friend. Okay. All right, so let's jot this down. Bears are 0-0 in kickoff games. They're first. Packers are 1-1, 1-0 at home, 0-1 away. You can go back and look. They Packers beat the Saints at home in 2011. It's interesting that game was on September 8th because that's the 251st day of the year, the 54th prime. And here we are. The Sunday games this year will be on that day. All right, let me jot it down. Whoops, what happened? All right. The score was 42-34. Maybe get an idea on the scoring based on history's past. And September 4th, 2014. Packers lost to Seahawks. September 4th, 2014 by a score of 16-36. Is that what it was? Let's see. Okay. And okay, so there have been 17 games played. 1, 2. Wait a minute. Home team lost 1, 2, 3. So home teams are 14-3. 14-3. Home teams are 14-3 in history of NFL kickoff game. So what stands out about that is 153, the 17th triangular number. September 5th can be written 5/9, 59, the 17th prime. Okay. All right. Make sure there's not something to hold on. I just want to think about a few things. Oftentimes, this first game of the season is symbolic for things to come. Super Bowl LIV. I just want to think about that. Super Bowl LIV. Super Bowl LIV is 150 like Green Bay Packers. And again, today is 150 days before the Super Bowl. Doesn't mean they have to win the first game. There's a good chance that you see a lot of tributes to the Jesuit order this year. Again, we've documented the synchronicities with the Pope in the past. The Pope's the first publicly Jesuit Pope. The problem with tonight's game is Jesuit order, and the most pure cipher is 54. But it's also 144 and 153. So, go either way. But that 153, I'm just thinking about that has any other NFL connection. Let me look at the all the numbers that correspond with the Bears. Caller?
What's going on, Zach?
What's up, man?
Yeah, I noticed you touched on like last year you had a pick like within the first couple minutes, and then you'll hang yourself by like deep decoding. And I feel like that's what we starting to do now. It's like we going deeper and deeper and deeper to the rabbit hole. I don't know if that's like part of your decodes or you just doing the decode today, but I mean, I remember you talked about not going too deep, Sure.
Well, that's what I don't know when you tuned in, but just right at the beginning, I said the Bears have a really strong riddle today, and
yeah, I got you. I'm on the go. I know who you like. I already know.
So yeah.
But I just know last time you said the more I noticed, the more you keep going, the more it might kind of lead you. You just keep seeing stuff. So I feel like since you locked in, we might as well just get on the I guess another game or something, so we don't find nothing
Well,
I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear nothing now. Then it scare me away from the Bears. You know what I mean?
right, and I'm not saying anything that. What I'm trying to do is just get as much information as possible so that we can look as we go through the games. Because a lot of times the opening game is a riddle about the greater narrative of the season, and still trying to unlock what the most likely Super Bowl is. So.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
All right, but yeah, I hear what
Okay.
you're saying. All right, appreciate it,
All right.
man.
I see.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So. But yeah, here we can go back through and start digging deeper on some of these other games. And I know that Sunday night football game a lot of people are real interested in, so we can do that right now. We can really focus on the primetime games. Again, that blurb said the Patriots aren't going to open it this year because they want to pay tribute to 100. And again, the Bears are 100 years old. The Packers have been established for 100 years. So, let's come back to this Steelers and Patriots game. Speaking of the Jesuit order, the Rooney family are Jesuits who own the Steelers. And if I remember right, what's his name? Dan Rooney died 98 days before the start of the 98th NFL season. So Sunday Night Football, September 8th. Again, that's the 251st day of the year. So the Sunday games, 251st day of the year, 54th prime. The date numerology for Sunday is 56, 29. 29, big football number. Football is 29 in the most pure cipher. Breaks down to 11, like 11 men on the field. And the lesser date numerology is 36. The day plus the month is 17. In light of it being on 9-8, remember the Patriots lost in the Super Bowl in the 98th NFL season to the Eagles. Tom Brady's 98, New England Patriots is 98, Patriots is 98. Caller?
Did you see the thing about Antonio Brown?
Yeah, how the Raiders are going to suspend him?
Yeah. I don't know. Just maybe there's something to that.
Supposedly, they got into an argument yesterday, September 4th, 4-9. I'm sure there is a riddle with it. I'll pause real quick, and here we can look at that since that's the story they're opening the NFL season with. I saw on ESPN for an hour they were talking about Australia. I was like, wow, this is what they're going to talk about on the opening day of the NFL season, huh? So.
Yeah, there's something.
All right, yeah. I'll take a peek at that real quick. All right, appreciate it. All right. So we got the former Steeler Antonio Brown on the Raiders now. Here, let's just see what is going on with this. His birthday is July 10th. He's 31 years old. And let's see. So supposedly the argument was yesterday, September 4th. So 56 days after his birthday. Caller?
Hey, Zach.
Yeah.
I know you talk about football right now. So, who do you like in baseball? I just got on the line. So, who you like in baseball for tonight?
We did the baseball live stream earlier.
Yeah, I missed it. I missed it because I just woke up.
Okay, so.
Sorry to inconvenience you, man.
Yeah, well, please also get in the habit of using the information because, I mean, I posted all the notes there, so they're all up. The Orioles have a shot today. If Allard loses, he'll be 4-2 for his career. Orioles is 42, and the Orioles have won at a rate of about 2-1 at home against the Rangers historically. So the thing that jumped out for that game is Allard could fall to 4-2. The Cubs and Brewers game very tight today. If they split today and tomorrow, I think so. Whoever loses today, I think will win tomorrow in this Cubs Brewers game. Chase Anderson, if he got the W today, he'd get his 37th win while pitching with Milwaukee. Chicago and Milwaukee summed to 37, so you got the overlap number. Quintana has a chance at a 33rd win today. Maybe his 33rd away win, if I remember right, on the 33 date numerology, so little tight there. The Twins pitcher, Martin Perez, can get his 53rd career win. Today has 53 date numerology. Boston Red Sox is 53. If his team gets the W, they'll stay on 53 losses. Eovaldi also has a chance to become 5-3 pitching for Boston, if I remember correctly. Eovaldi could also pick up, or Eovaldi could fall to 5-2 at Fenway with a loss, and Minnesota's 52. So I like that Martin Perez, the way the 53s line up for him with the date numerology and the opponent. That's the Twins pitcher. Blue Jays, they got a chance at an upset today. I think the Rays are going to take 3 out of 4 in this series and get to 85 wins because Toronto Blue Jays is 85. But today, if Trent Thornton got the W, he would be 5-9. Toronto Blue Jays is 59. And if the Rays lost today, they'd be 8-5 versus the Blue Jays. Toronto Blue Jays 85. So Blue Jays have a potential upset narrative. I wouldn't put a lot on that, but I might use it in a small parlay. And the Nationals and Braves game was tight today. Stay away from that one. If Strasburg doesn't win today, he'll stay on 110 career wins, and he plays Minnesota next. Minnesota's 110. And Mariners, they got a prayer at an upset too. I might use the Mariners in a small bet as a parlay multiplier because it's the 137th game between these two teams, which is the 33rd prime. And the Astros could get their 33rd home loss all time against the Mariners. And there's a 33 date numerology as well. But if you look at Wade Miley, he's got a lot of numbers that suggest he could win. So that one's tight as well. But I like Martin Perez's riddle today. And your Orioles, your hometown Orioles, man, there's not a whole lot to go off of. But if Allard falls to 4-2 versus the Orioles, we see that number a lot with the Orioles. Orioles 42. So earlier games today. Again, remember, because like yesterday we talked about how the Tigers look good to beat the Royals today. They've already beat them. So you could have had a good one in today. The Cardinals look good today. So remember what we talk about the day of, because a lot of times some of the better games in the day are early in the morning. But
yeah, I see St. Louis, one big I saw a few minutes ago, St. Louis. Man, I knew St. Louis going to win. I just knew it, man. I was tired. Drive the truck even mess me up sometimes, man.
Yeah, I know it.
Good games, you know. I need to find out how I do it, you know. Either pick early or something, I do something.
Right. Yeah, so you can always put in your picks the day before. But, yeah,
but
so...
I did one with Cleveland last night. I won with Cleveland, I did.
All right, that's good, man. So, yeah.
Yes.
Those notes are up on the Patreon if you want to go back over them, but there's a couple games there I think are decent, so...
So let me cut you tomorrow. You do college tomorrow, correct?
Yeah, we will. We will.
If you guys say that, because I did college last night. I did for Boise State, but we talk about it tomorrow.
Okay.
Go to see one key number. I'll talk to you tomorrow about that. I ain't want to talk to you because you got NFL right now. So no problem. Thank you very much, sir.
All right, you're welcome. Take care.
You know.
All right, see you. I guess since we do have, I've slipped on college football. We can take a peek at tonight's. Or no, it's Friday. It's not today, so it's tomorrow. All right, let me make sure there's no... All right, so the games are tomorrow, so nothing today for college. Okay. Yeah, let's try to stick to football. And again, you use the information I post out there. I mean, I put it out there for a reason, so... All right, we're going to look at this Steelers and Patriots game a little bit more thoroughly. Actually, hold up. I think there's one thing I have not done with the Packers and Bears game that we can still do. 1 second. Caller?
Hey, so for this Patriots-Steelers game, do you remember in 2015 the headset malfunctions and then the fire alarm was also pulled at the Steelers Hotel at 3 a.m. the night before the game?
Okay, vaguely.
So they have an article out on CBS Sports. Mike Tomlin isn't worried about any more headset malfunctions. So headset malfunction is 73, which is a reflection of Patriots 37. And fire alarm, what was interesting about that was it's a 47 as well. And I was just wondering if you had any other potential insights. I noticed you didn't have a blog post about it. I went and checked. So maybe this time, if they don't have the malfunction, or they're implying it with this article, you go against it in some way. But I just wanted to add the fact that last time they did play was the opener. While it was one of the ones where the Patriots were at home, and it was the kickoff game, and this one is not, it seems that there is some sync with that. Anyways, I'll let you get back to it.
Okay, yeah, good thoughts. Okay. One thing I didn't do for the Packers and Bears that we can add to our analysis is look at the history of Rodgers playing in Chicago and also the history of Trubisky playing at home against the Packers. So let's do that real quick. That was one thing I meant to do prior to the game. And let me pull that up real quick. Okay, let's see. All right, game log, career. Let's see here. Probably Chicago like that. Okay, so that was not at Chicago. We want to look at his games at Chicago. Here, let me just get a notepad here real quick. Jot this down. So, all right. Just going to tally this up. All right, so his first game at Chicago, 2008, 11 years ago. He lost at Chicago. Second game he won, so he was 1-1. 2009. Lost. See that 17 number coming up. And caller?
Yeah, I had some points on the Packers game.
Please.
All right. I noticed today earlier, I believe it was on the Green Bay Packers Facebook, they mentioned Bart Starr's wife, and the article was about today will be the first time she watched a game without Bart in 68 years. And the only thing I could find was 68, which I don't know is relevant, is tonight the referee, his name is Tony Behrendt, I believe. From today to his birthday is 68 days, which will be his 68th birthday. Also, he wears the number 99, like Packers 99 seasons. His full name is Anthony Joseph Corinth, and that equals 101, possibly like how Aaron can get his 101st win. I had a few more. Let's see. When you type out 100, I know you know it equals 54, but it also equals 162. His birthday is between Bart Starr and Cherry Starr is 16 weeks, 2 days. Also with that, from Mark Murphy, the CEO and president, from his birthday of July 13th to the Super Bowl is 162 days. So all those are 162, and 100, typing that out is 162. With Mark Murphy, I'm sure you've noticed, he has double 54s in his name. And from his birthday again on July 13th to today is 54 days.
Huh.
And there's quite a bit with it. Oh, sorry, one more point. With it being the 199th meeting tonight, when you type out 199, you get 237. And from Bart Starr's birthday to Lombardi's death is 237 days. And Vince Lombardi's full name equals 237, just like from Vince Lombardi's birthday of 6/11 to the Super Bowl is a full span of 237.
Huh.
And then I know someone mentioned Mason Crosby's birthday was on 9/3. I didn't realize until today that is also the same day that Lombardi died, is on 9/3.
Right.
Which has been 49 days. And then for today's date, I know you were talking about 9/5 with the Bears and such, but also, Green Bay, Wisconsin is 95. And I see a lot that ties in with how today's leaves 117 days. I see 117 a lot on here, but I don't know if that's really equivalent or makes sense for tonight. But Bart Starr and Brett Favre are 117.
Illinois is 117. Earlier when you mentioned the 99, Illinois is 99 as well too. So
okay.
Illinois is also
those
54.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great observations.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Bye.
Okay. So we can take a peek at the refs too. That's another thing that sometimes bears fruit. I just noticed Tony Corrente, his average percentages seems that they favor away teams most years, which is interesting. Let's see. Okay, so I was tallying up Aaron Rodgers. Let me see. I forgot where I was. Start over here. So we started off 0-1. 1-1 at Chicago. Lost the next one. I'm seeing the 17-20 score, which makes sense. Chicago 37. So we fell to 1-2 at Chicago. Became 2-2 at Chicago. Back and forth. Became 3-2. Let's see. Became 4-2. Five and 2. 6-2. 7-2. Oh, because he didn't play that year. He was out. 7-3, which makes sense, right? Chicago became 3-7 against him. Chicago 37. And all right, here's the playoff games. So that's regular season. So he's 7-3 regular season. Actually, I think I do have this stat up there, don't I? And then including the playoffs, he's 8-3. So 8-3 all time. Okay, 8-3 all time. I think it's Green Bay Packers 84. Green Bay Packers is 84. Okay, let me adjust that, and then we'll look at Trubisky too. Trubisky won't have nearly as much history. All right, hold on. All right, so the Packers narrative has to be through Aaron Rodgers, but again, you have a perfect riddle with the Bears coach, the Bears QB, and the all-time win-loss records for the Bears. And let's just see what Trubisky's done at home against Rodgers. There's probably only a few games. Game logs. Maybe just a couple. Green Bay. He lost his first, and so he's probably 0-2. Well, let's think. Green Bay. 0-1. 0-2. 1-2. Okay. All right. Trubisky is 1-1 at home. One at home. And 1-2. Trubisky is 1-1. Caller?
Yeah, Zach.
Yeah.
Hey, the information you're looking for is on Packers Wire for Aaron Rodgers' record against the Bears.
Okay.
It's PackersWire.usatoday.com.
PackersWire.usatoday.com. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And it says that he's currently 15 of 19 games.
All right. Appreciate that.
All right, thanks.
All right, thanks. Okay. So what do we have written down here? Because we use Pro Football Reference. So, those stats are different than the ones we looked up. Okay. So Pro Football Reference has Rodgers 16-5 versus the Bears in the regular season, and then +1 if you count the playoffs, 17-5 all time. All right. Okay. Caller?
Hey, what's going on, Zach?
What's up, man?
What's going on? So, one thing I wanted to tell you that I saw Aaron Rodgers for his career in Chicago. He's on 45-10 touchdown interception ratio.
Okay.
Totals.
Right.
And they also were talking up a lot about this magician that supposedly Nagy hired during the beginning of the season training camp, Matthew Furman. So I don't know if that would help us either.
What is it again that they hired did you say?
He hired a magician.
That's what I thought you said.
During training camp, and the guy's name is Matthew Furman.
That's for the Packers?
No, that's for Chicago.
Matthew Furman.
Nagy hired him.
All right. Matthew Furman, Bears magician. Yeah, sounds like an interesting story. Huh. Okay. Interesting story.
Yeah, and also one quick thing I wanted to ask you before I got off. From like a fantasy perspective, what numbers would I want to pay attention to tonight as far as like when it comes to the jersey numbers? I know like 46, obviously 54. Like what other number? 17 probably, right?
17 could be a good one, but yeah, I suspect we'll see some. Who do we know who number 46 is on the respective teams?
Okay, so we check real quick. I'm down the house. 46. Okay, I don't see a significant player on Chicago with a 46 number. Let me check Green Bay. As far as offense, I mean. Yeah, sometimes those are like easy grabs with those numbers that come across on the jerseys, especially fantasy sometimes.
Well, consider last year it was clear the ritual was going to be about 26 last year. Last year, Thursday Night Football was also on a 26 date numerology, and the only touchdowns scored last year were by number 26. We have 26 date numerology again, so I wouldn't sleep on that number.
Okay. I don't see a 46 as far as Green Bay either, as far as the offense is concerned. But okay, you said 26, 17.
Deion Bush.
I got a couple.
Deion Bush is 26 for the Bears.
Okay.
I'll look out for the numbers, but I just wanted to tell you about the magician. I don't know if it's going to help, but
Okay, I see the
I
story.
definitely want to know this game.
Okay. Yeah, I see the story. All right, appreciate it, man. Let's see. For Matthew Furman, the magician's name was Matthew Furman too. Let's just take a peek at it. Matthew Furman's 55. Chicago Bears is 55. So they got a magician with. Oh, his name is 55 and 71. Like Chicago Bears is 55 and 71. Let's just see if there's an easier way to do this depth chart. That's what I want to see. All right. So I'll just run through the player numbers. Okay, so the Bears wide receiver number 18. Remember, Bears is 18. So think about, the symbolism of the numbers for the player. It's the Bears, their opening game. So, okay, number 18. If you map out the Bears season, you see games with 18-date numerology. Those are the games where I'd expect him to have his bigger games. Taylor Gabriel. And here, let's just see how day one lines up. That's what we can do just for practice, just get in the habit of all the things you can look at for a game. So, Taylor Gabriel, he's 28 years old. His birthday's February 17th, the 48th day of the year. See how his birthday lines up with today's game. It's 200 days after his birthday, his 201st day of his age. That means it's 165 days to his upcoming birthday. Big Scottish right number. But he wears the right number for the Bears, 18. Trey Burton, the tight end, number 80. Let's see how things go with his... Well, here, let me run the Gematria on the players, too. Taylor Gabriel. Taylor Gabriel, 64, 80. All right. Caller?
Yeah, Zach, that guy was calling in about the fantasy players.
Uh-huh.
I got 3 players where their birthday lines up with their jersey numbers.
For week 1?
Yeah, for week 1. Actually, this upcoming game tonight.
Okay.
Okay, and the first one is Allen Robinson. His birthday's 12 days away. He wears number 12.
Okay, Chicago's 37, the 12th prime. What position's he playing for what team?
That's Chicago.
And what position?
Wide receiver.
Wide receiver, okay. Allen Robinson.
And then Mason Crosby, the kicker for Green Bay, he wears number 2. His birthday is 2 days away.
That's interesting, yeah.
And then the last one is Jimmy Graham, the tight end for Green Bay. He wears number 80, and his birthday is 80 days away from today.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good catch, too. All right, one more time with the names.
All right, one more time. That's Allen Robinson, Mason Crosby, and Jimmy Graham.
Got it.
And then also Trey Burton, his birthday happens to be 54 days away, and he's questionable right now.
Trey Burton is?
Yes.
So he might not even play, huh?
Yeah, well, they said he wasn't going to play, and then they said he was held out of practice, and he's moved all the way up to questionable. So I'm still thinking he's going to play.
Okay, yeah, I'm looking at him right now. All right, interesting. All right, appreciate it, man. Great work.
All right, thanks, man.
All right, yeah, thanks. Okay, so Trey Burton, I was going to look at his birthday, October 29th. And, let's see, to today. It's 311 days after his birthday. The 64th prime. Chicago Bears, if you use the rule with S, is 64. Chicago Bears. Whoop. Chicago Bears, if you use that rule with S right here, is 64. So 311 days after his birthday, 64th prime, which means his upcoming birthday would be in 54 days. So his upcoming birthday is in 54 days as well. So that's interesting. Keep an eye on if he plays or not. Trey Burton, birthday in 54 days. So he could definitely have a... how old's he going to turn? That's synced up with his 28th birthday. Okay. And let's see. Trubisky, again, it's 16 days after Trubisky's birthday. He's going for his 16th win. Tariq Cohen. Let's see. Tariq Cohen. Cohen's 18 like Bears. I should be looking at their last names too. Burton. Burton's 27. Bears is 27 if you use the rule with S. All right. Tariq Cohen birthday. July 26th. Let's see. It's 41 days after his birthday. 41, Green Bay's 41. 41 the 13th prime. Okay. Let's see. Tariq Cohen. 41 days. All right. And keep going down this depth chart. It's number 29. Allen Robinson. So the caller just called in about Allen Robinson. Number 12, Chicago 37, the 12th prime. Caller pointed out that it was 12 days after his birthday. August 24th. Yep, today is 12 days after his birthday, right on the nose. He's 26 years old as well, like the 26 date numerology. So that's very interesting. Just writing all this down so I can repeat it later. Okay. And his name, Gematria. I wonder if he puts Robinson the second on his jersey or if he just does it Robinson. Robinson. Okay, keep moving down this depth chart. What's up, Jeremy?
Hey, Zach. I had a few things for the game tonight.
Please.
I'm going to tie it back to Cedric Benson. If you go to his Wikipedia page, under the part where he died, it says he died on County Road 2222.
Right.
Like the day of the Super Bowl. And I was looking at he died 233 days after his birthday. And Chicago Bears equals 233. And that was also the big number in the luck thing. Luck equals 233, and the Houston Roughnecks is 233.
Right.
And the word horse equals 233. And then for Cedric Benson's last Instagram
was the post of the white horse, right. It was his 83rd Instagram post.
And let's see, what else is 233? South Carolina Gamecocks is 233, and Jadeveon Clowney went to South Carolina. But that's not that related to it. What was the other? Oh yeah, 233 is the 51st prime. So I don't know if there's any 51s on the board for tonight's game.
Not that I caught.
And you also have the Colts beat the Bears in the
Super Bowl.
Right.
Super Bowl 41. So it seems like the connections between Luck and the Bears and Benson through the number 233 seems like a pretty significant.
Right. He died in a motorcycle accident. That equals 100, like the 100th NFL season. And, yep, 233 days, yep. So, he played for Chicago, Cincinnati, and Green Bay. Okay. Yeah, great observations, Jeremy. Appreciate it, man.
All right, talk to you later.
All right, thanks. He died 19 days before this first game, or a span of 20. We saw Chicago Bears as 71, the 20th prime. And sure. Died on the 17th day of the month. Okay. Okay. Continue to look at the depth chart here, and for the synchronicities, the Bears kicker, where was he at? Where did they got him at? Special teams. Eddie Pinheiro. Let's see. His birthday is September 13th, so it's 8 days from his birthday. That means it's 357 days after his birthday. Play again right after he turns 24. Is this guy a rookie? I don't remember his name before. Eddie Pinheiro. Of course, the Bears had to get rid of their kicker after the way their season ended last year. So yeah, he's a rookie. Let's see if there's anything interesting about Mason Crosby. It's going to be Crosby's 193rd game tonight. That's the 44th prime. Packers is 44. Chicago's got the 44 connection. And 80.4%. Green Bay Packers 84. Yeah, so he is number 2, and the game is 2 days after his birthday. What could that mean? He kicks 2 field goals. Mason Crosby. He's got the 144 and 153 connection. Mason Walker Crosby is 101. 26th prime. You got the 26 date numerology. Okay, let's look at the Packers depth chart real quick. All right, get to the Packers depth chart. Caller?
Hey, Zach, did you ever tally up Aaron Rodgers' away record in Chicago?
Yeah, he's 7-3 in the regular season and 8-3 all time.
That's including the playoffs?
The all-time ones with the playoffs. So he's 7-3 in the regular season and 8-3 all time. If he lost all time, he'd be 8-4. Green Bay Packers is 84. If he won tonight, he'd be 8-3 in the regular season. That big football number.
Okay, I thought it was 9-4. I must have miscounted. Okay. So the next time you play, what channel do you play on, Zach? If you could see for me, please.
The Packers schedule. Let's see. Or it's probably easier to it's probably a little easier to go like this.
Week 15, yeah, whatever.
Fox.
Fox, I knew it.
18.
9, right?
So his next win all time is 18.
18, okay. And Fox equals 9 as well. Well, no, yeah, 9. So 18. So, what day? Oh, shit, Zach, what day numerology is that?
Well, it's December 15th, so it's 3, 8, 9, 21, and 66. It's 21, 39, 66. Also, 46 is the lesser date numerology.
That 39 again. Is that the Sunday night football game?
Well, it could change. No, right now it's scheduled for 10 a.m., but by that point in the season, it could change, so you just never know.
Yep. Remember last year's that one of them games changed? One of our games changed to Sunday night football, but man, it's tough. I'm trying to figure this shit out. Like I said, man, Good Morning America show the Sunday night football. So
yeah.
Are you gonna watch the pregame show, Zach?
What time does it start at?
7 my time. The game starts. So
20 minutes before the game.
Yeah, it's an hour before.
So the game starts. So that would be like 4:20 my time, which is 6:20 your time.
Because what I want you to do, I'm not telling you to do it. This is just a thing for us to emphasize that. So, because like you catch it like I do, we sharp with this. So, like if you catch it, like you could put a post at Patreon for the bettors. You get what I'm saying? That'll help you guys out. You feel what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Sure. If they put up anything, I can put up a note.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. You've done it before, but it's just like I'm telling you, man. Once you start getting more likes, you're gonna get more subscribers. You know what I mean? And I want you to, man. You've been doing a lot of hard work, so like little stuff like that. Because I'm in sales for a living, I know that's the stuff that they'll tell their friends. You know what I mean? And then you just get more subscribers. You'll make more money.
For sure.
So yeah. Well, yeah, that's all I want. I ain't want to talk to you all, but yeah, if you could do, I'm gonna look at the pregame stuff too, and then if I see it right away, I'm gonna text you. I know you have your phone on, and then if you see some whatever.
Well, like I said before, I wouldn't overthink it too much. I mean, there's a really awesome riddle for the Bears, and since it is Sunday night football, the thing for Rodgers probably isn't as good. So.
Yeah, that's cool. And I think Zach, they're gonna have him lose, and then that might be. The NFC Championship might be right in front of our face, Zach, right there. What you think?
Bears and Packers?
Yeah.
I mean, it's possible. It's possible, but.
Yeah. You think the Cowboys going to the Super Bowl now?
Well, the Saints still have a really great narrative, and Saints, Packers, and Cowboys all got the most interesting narratives in the NFC. That's for sure. So.
Okay. Yeah, but that's all I see right now, man. It's like you said, it's either gonna be Sunday riddle or Thursday riddle. I just know they watch you now, so like you get what I'm saying, Zach? They'll do that shit to throw us off, man. And I guarantee you, some of those Patreon guys, Zach, are going with your picks, and they betting hundreds of thousands, Zach. And that's what it is, dog. I'm telling you, that's what it is now. Remember how we used to deny it, like, it might not, but you're important now, dog. I'm telling you.
They can't flip many NFL games though, so.
They can't what?
They can't flip many NFL games. It's not like MLB, so.
I don't know. Yeah, we'll see, man. I don't know, man. I don't know what I want to do. I might play Chicago first half, but I don't know. I might just stay off it. But it's hard when you're a bettor, man. It's like a truck driver. I understand how you feel, like if you want to bet. So.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thanks. Take care. All right, so we're going through this depth chart. I'm just trying to see if anything screams out. So again, the Bears depth chart. Trey Burton, who's questionable, he might not play, but if he does, his upcoming birthday is in 54 days. So Trey Burton's the tight end. If he's on the field, I mean, he's got the number for the birthday distance. Tariq Cohen, the running back, the game's 41 days after his birthday. Green Bay's 41. And then number 12, the game's 12 days after his birthday. Chicago's 37, the 12th prime. Caller?
Yeah, Zach. Hey, I was just wondering if you happened to take a look at the Kiko Alonso trade between the Saints and the Dolphins.
When did this happen?
On the 1st
of September.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. Kiko Alonso. I didn't realize it until now. So the Dolphins traded one player to the Texans and one to the Saints, and they're the Monday Night Football game.
Right.
Yeah.
The interesting part about that is Kiko Alonso, he ended up getting number 54 for the Saints.
Huh.
And then the guy that it got traded for ended up taking Kiko Alonso's old number 47 on the Dolphins.
Huh. Okay. So you're positive the trade date was September 1st?
Yes.
Okay. He went to University of Oregon, 33rd state. Yeah, I'll have to look at this one. So interesting.
Yeah, I thought it could be somewhat of a riddle because Kiko Alonso, he also played for the Bills, and then the guy that he got traded with, he also played for the Green Bay Packers. So I know there's like something that ties all three of those teams into this season.
Kiko Alonso equals 41 in the most pure cipher, like Super Bowl.
Right.
So. And if he got traded on September 1st, 1-9, Saints is 19. It's the 2019 season.
Right.
His name's also like his birthday. He's born 14/8. Kiko Alonso's also 148. So he got traded then, would have been on his 19th day of his age. 18 days after his birthday or his 19th day of his age. So... yeah, that would be that'd be another little thing there for the Saints, getting the player from Miami where the Super Bowl is.
Yeah, I think it's a clue to definitely what's going to come.
Yeah, that's definitely interesting. So I will look. I'll look more at that. Appreciate it.
All right, Zach.
All right, thanks, man.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good observation. So it was the September 1st news. Again, his 19th day of his age, 1/9, Saints 19, the 2019 season. Don't forget the Super Bowl is going to be on Drew Brees' 19th day of being 41 years old. Vince Beagle. Let's see. So he's good at staying healthy. He was on the Buffalo Bills before. Remember, Bills are one of the 5 teams with the 54 connection. So he carries that too. Caller?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going well, man.
Hey, it's Chris in New Mexico. I called about the Rockies thing in Albuquerque a while back. I don't know if you remember me or not.
Right, yeah.
I'm looking at I deal with a bunch of stuff on eBay, and the front banner for eBay for last week or more has had the Patriots hat on their banner, talking about buying stuff. So maybe that might be an indicator. I have no idea, but it's not usual that the sports team is indicated on eBay. But they've had the Patriots hat on the front page of eBay for last week or more.
Okay.
I don't know if that's anything or not, but eBay's been pushing it hard. I don't know if there's any gematria there, but I figured.
I imagine it has more to do with. I imagine that's just typical marketing advertising. It's the start of the NFL season. Lots of bandwagon fans, people buying their new Patriot gear for the season. So.
Yeah, maybe so. I don't know, but it's they just hammer you with it. But I figured I'd call him and mention something about it. But loving what you're doing, man.
Appreciate
We
it.
thinking the Bears tonight?
I like the Bears riddle tonight. I do.
Yeah. I'm looking at the line. It looks like on 5 dimes it's shit. Yeah, well, sorry, excuse me. It's minus 170 now, so it's looking pretty good on the line. But I'll keep on watching, and I just figured I'd just pass on any information I can if it helps or not. You know, it's just more information.
All right. Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Zach.
All right. Yeah. Welcome. All right. Let me try to look at the depth chart here for the Packers. We were just trying to see how things line up with the key offensive players with tonight's game. So Davante Adams. Let's see. Whoops. Clicked too many times. He's number 17. So Rodgers, remember Rodgers has that connection. It's 277 days from Rodgers' birthday, the 59th prime. 59 is the 17th prime. Rodgers is on 17 all-time wins versus the Bears. He's going for his 17th win in the regular season. I see Adams is 26 years old. We got the 26 date numerology. Okay. All right, let's see. Adams, let's see how things line up with his birthday. Davante Adams' birthday, December 24th. Okay. December 24th, 2018. It's 255 days after his birthday, which means it's 110 to his upcoming. I'm not seeing the standout number there with tonight's game. All right. But he does wear the right jersey number, that's for sure. Let's see. Tight end Jimmy Graham. So caller pointed out that Jimmy Graham wears the number 80, and today's 80 days after his birthday. Oh, shoot. I forgot to do something with Adams real quick before we move on. Forgot to get his Gematria just to look at it. I might go with tonight. 33. Look for this man on Monday Night Football. He's got to grab a touchdown on MNF. It's the 33 show. Just last name. 11. Okay. Caller?
Hey, Zach.
Yeah.
I got some questions for you. Do you look at the sweeps too? Look at the sweeps.
Say that again?
Look at it like a sweep. You know, when a person sweep them?
A person's, are we talking football or baseball?
I talk about football.
What's you mean like if a team wins both games in the season?
Yeah. Do you look at that too?
Sure, that's something we consider. So if the Bears swept the Packers this year, they would get their 54th win in the regular season.
No, I just wondering. Just let you know about that. So I just to let you know.
Well, that is a great thought. I talked about that the other night. If the Bears swept the Packers this season, they would get to 50. Or excuse me, actually, wait a minute. No, I take that back. No, never mind. I take that back. That's not true. So think about if they won both games this year. If the Bears won both games this year, they would tie up the Packers in the regular season at 96-96. And they'd tie them up all time at 97-97 as well. So I need to go to the Week 15 and see what the head-to-head is there. The Bears are 42-48-4 at the Packers in the regular season.
So that's all. I need a lot of work to do. So I won't borrow it up. That's all.
But what I would look for is teams in that packet that I put out. I'd look for teams that if it's possible for them to get to 54 wins versus the opponent for the year, that could be a good shot in the 54th NFL season. So.
Okay, no problem. Thank you very much,
All right,
sir.
yeah, take care, man.
All right, you go.
Okay. All right, so I was looking at Jimmy Graham. Jimmy Graham's 55 like Chicago Bears, but he's playing on the Packers. 179, the 41st prime, Green Bay 41. 118, also like the Packers establishment date, August 11th. Jimmy Graham's been having trouble staying healthy. But let's see. So November 24th. So today's 285 days after his birthday, which means yes, it is 80 days to his upcoming birthday. And he does wear the number 80. So that is interesting. I always like it when it's days after the birthday more than up to, but up to definitely matters as well. So 80 days, number 80 to the birthday. And he's going to turn how old this year? 33. He's going to turn 33. Getting up there for football years. Okay. Let's see. Other key position players. Marquez Valdez. He's number 83, that football number. Rodgers does have a chance to get to 8-3 versus the Bears in the regular season. Rodgers has some riddles tonight. If I didn't know anything else and I was looking at Rodgers' stats, I'd think, man, things look good for Rodgers tonight. But, again, that riddle for the Bears is awesome. Okay, Marquez Valdez Scantling, long name. 331, 67th prime. 263, 56th prime. His birthday's 10/10. It's 330 days after his birthday, or his 331st day of his age. That's interesting because his name's 331 and it's his 331st day of his age. So I'm going to jot that down. 331's the 67th prime, 67's the 19th prime, first game of 2019. So he could be a guy to keep an eye on. Scantling. 331st day of his age. I'm going to write all this down in the post, but just for now, it's easier for me to just jot it down on here. So I'm flipping back and forth. Okay, so he's got a nice alignment with his name in terms of his birthday. And that means his upcoming birthday is in 35 days. Chicago's 35. Caller? What's up, man?
Hey, you're still talking football. I want to point out something about the Panthers against the Rams. If you go to the Pro Football Reference and look at the Carolina Panthers all-time wins list, you'll see that they have 190 regular season wins. And if they get one more win, it makes 191. And Rams in Satanic Gematria equals 191.
Well, that's interesting. I personally wouldn't go to that cipher. It is interesting, but remember the Rams can become 5-6 at the Panthers on that 56 date numerology. And
I also have one more that ties into it too.
Okay.
If you look at the all-time loss list, and if you add the playoffs to it, I think it comes out to, was it 201? I think it's 193 plus 8, so it's 201.
Right.
And 201 equals Rams in Jewish Gematria.
Okay. But again, I'd stick to looking at the...
Rams that can beat the Rams and stay on the Rams, you know what I mean?
Sure, it's possible, but again, I'd stick to the regular season record without combining the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And here, I'm just gonna pull it up on my screen. Or hold on, I'm looking in the wrong thread here. 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
Rams. Okay, so the game is on a date with 56 numerology, and the Rams are 4-6 at the Panthers in the regular season. If the Rams win, they'll be 5-6 at the Panthers on the 56th date. And also Rivera, he could get his 57th career loss just in our base ciphers. Rams is 57, big Super Bowl number as well. They're fresh off being in the Super Bowl. They advanced to the Super Bowl with a 57-yard field goal against the Saints. And Cam Newton can get his 54th regular season loss to start the season. 251st day of the year, the game's on the 54th prime. So you can venture out and look at the other ciphers. Sometimes they're there, but I do recommend sticking to the base ciphers. They're a lot more consistent. So.
Well, it was pretty good with the for the Super Bowl because if you look, I think on the all-time list of the Rams, it equaled their losses equal Tom Brady.
Okay.
And it equaled the Patriots. And it also equaled the Patriots. So I think it was like 588 losses for the Rams all time. And I think if you looked on it, and I forget if it's Jewish or not sure what, I think 588 I think came out, or whatever it is, the all time. It equals Tom Brady and it also equals the Patriots.
Huh, that's it. That's interesting. That's a new one for me. These ciphers absolutely can matter. Don't get me wrong. Let me type it in and see what happens there. I'm trying it out. Jewish is the most significant. Tom Brady's 667 in Jewish, so it must have been a different cipher. English extended.
Yeah, it's going to be one of the. I think it's going to be English Sumerian, or I think it's English Sumerian and maybe reverse English Sumerian.
All right, yeah, English Sumerian. It is 588. Yeah.
Yeah, and then what about the Patriots? Because it's two of them. It's Patriots and it's Tom Brady. With that.
Oh, it's going to be Patriots in the reverse one. In the reverse one, I can already see it's going to be it. So.
Yes, man. Dude,
those ciphers are directly connected to the base ciphers though, because those are just multiplying the alphabetic order times 6. So, but that is a great observation that they did finish on 588 losses. I didn't catch that before, so that's a good one.
Yeah, that could be a big tell for when the actual Super Bowl comes. You could actually, put this in the calculator on the last game, and in case it comes out to the other team or the quarterback or the coach or something. You know what I mean? Okay, just wanted to point that out for you. Okay.
All right, appreciate it. Thanks, man.
No problem. Bye.
Okay. All right, so very interesting. Let's go back to this depth chart. Where did we go here? Caller?
So Zach, Rams winning. I don't want him to confuse nobody in the chat, man. And I agree with you. That's just too far-fetched. He's reaching. For one, they play week 2 equals 39. They play in Charlotte again their next game. Charlotte equals 39. Cam Newton's not winning.
Well, like I said, on those Sunday games, I would watch all those 54 riddles that can pop up because it's the 251st day of the year, the 54th prime, start of the season that ends in Super Bowl 54. So I think those are where the week 1 riddles are at.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
The Rams going to win. You said riddle is just straight there. Again, that's why I hate the new guys. They confuse themselves. They do too much. And I don't want the new guys in your group, you know what I mean?
Well, they got to call it and ask. I just told them, I just said I think that's a little bit abstract. I would just stick to the base ciphers and what's the typical model, so.
Yeah, they got to follow us, man. We veterans. I've been doing this for 4 years now, so, you know what I mean? Like, since you started, so it's like, that's too, they get too far-fetched with it, just simple shit. Like you said, 54 Rams, 54, just, you know what I mean? And Charlotte equals 39. There's no more else to say. And they always mock Cam Newton anyways, so that's my stand on it.
Sure. Well, I still think it's good to call in and ask questions, but it's the only way you're going to find out. But, yeah, I would he did make a good observation. I didn't catch that before about the Patriots and the 588 losses. That's interesting. So.
Yeah, that is. But those things, okay, I can say this. Those things does matter when playoffs come because it gets more abstracted, riddles that be more in our face, that's more hidden. So he's not wrong. I just, regular season, like you said, man, it just needs to be simple, clean,
Sure.
So I'm agreeing with you. All right, bud, that's all I wanted.
All right. Take care, man. See you. All right, so Aaron Jones, number 33. Let's see what he's got going on tonight. Aaron Jones, Packers birthday. Oh, he's got the same birthday as Aaron Rodgers, December 2nd. Remember, this year the Super Bowl would be on Aaron Rodgers' 63rd. Both of these guys' names is Aaron, too. Aaron and Aaron born on the same day. Here, for people who don't know. Whoops, I hit the wrong thing. Aaron Rodgers. December 2nd, 83. He's 11 years older. Caller?
Hey, I was just thinking, so I know you're doing this breakdown of like the birthday alignments for the players.
Uh-huh.
I'm already in the process of grabbing like all the rosters and so forth. So like, I'm gonna do an automatic birthday distance calculation for every week, all the games. But that's not
on that thing. If you're gonna do that, I'd make sure it shows their name, gematria, and jersey too.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, I'm going through. I'm gonna make it open source too. I think because I can make it where it automatically just crawls all of the web pages. Like it grabs your game log, and then just it calculates the stats from the game log and not from just like a pre-computed thing that might be wrong.
Right.
But that's like secondary for what I want to bring up. The main thing was a great way for you to get more people might be if you make a blog post that's like when you're looking at a player to see whether or not they might do well. Like, for instance, you brought up 33 with Monday Night Football. You have the birthday and the jersey number stuff. So if you just make like a short couple paragraph post with like maybe one or two players in the game as an example, like tonight you already have done the breakdown. So if you just do a post after the game with the result, then I'll share it around. And there's so many people who are into fantasy football who don't know how to like set their lineup. If you did like a simple post, that would probably get a lot of traffic.
Sure.
So,
or not, because every video is so censored, nobody can even find it. But
yeah, but there's like huge fantasy football things like on Reddit, and I know if I just like drop the link in there, then it will get caught as long as I do it at the right time of day. Because most days there's only like a couple pieces of news, and for instance, like that Zeke Elliott thing, and also like. Most of these things, if you type in the word gematria, it's nowhere to be found in any of these places. So it would be the first post, be unique, and I don't think anyone out there has done any sort of blog post about fantasy football in this regard, even though you're doing it right now.
Well, I've talked about it for years on my YouTube channels, but...
Yeah, but I'm just thinking in terms of, it might be a way to get more people because it's something that would be unique. I know you do the videos, but it seems like there's all these gems that come up during the streams, and then, like, if you're watching the stream the whole way through, then yeah, you see them and you pick up on it. But
right.
A lot of people, they want like the crib notes version,
right.
And this might be one of those things similar to that post you did, like how to decode baseball or how to decode a game.
Right. Yeah.
Anyways, just some comments.
All right, appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Thanks.
Caller?
Zach.
Yeah.
Zach, how's it going?
It's going well. How are you?
I'm worried about this game today. I know you said that it was being counted as Sunday night football, right?
Right.
And that's good for the Bears.
Right.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure because all those numbers were stacking up for the Bears for Sunday night, and I just don't understand how could be Thursday night and then score it for Sunday. I mean, why would they do that?
I agree. It is very weird, and I guess it's all about just what network and their branding and what games they have rights to. It does make this a little bit funky, and I've never ran into a situation doing this where there was a riddle where the quarterback's record could be perfect with the SNF acronym or the TNF acronym, depending on what it counted as. So essentially what I've done in picking this game is I've just thrown that part out, and I've said, just let me say it one more time. Doesn't this just sound right? It's 134 days after Matt Nagy's birthday. If he wins, he becomes 13-4. The National Football League's 134. Vesica Piscis is 134, the shape of the football. Vesica Piscis is also 53. You have 53 date numerology. The Bears can get the 53rd win at home in the regular season on the 53 date. They can get the 95th win in the regular season on September 5th, 9-5. And it's 16 days after Trubisky's birthday, and he can get his 16th regular season win. 53 is the 16th prime. It just seems too well structured that way. And again, this is the beginning of the 100th NFL season. If you write out the National Football League, it also sums to 100. The Bears are playing in their 100th season. Only them and the Cardinals are. Rodgers can stay on 100 wins on this opening night. That feels right for the 100th season. So, at least in my mind.
So I didn't catch that last stat. You said that he already has 100 regular season wins?
Yeah, Rodgers so that's one of the things that could go in Rodgers' favor, though, because today has 26 date numerology as well, and his next regular season win is 101, the 26th prime. That was the riddle last year with the opening game. It was all about 26 and the Eagles, and we saw that because the Falcons didn't have any connection to 26. Last year was a gimme. But I do like this Bears riddle a lot this year. I mean, if they don't win, they don't win. But that riddle is, I mean, they couldn't have scripted it any better, truly. So.
The other day when the Mets beat the Nationals 8-4.
Yeah.
And I really liked how you called that, because you said if you go this way, you'll lose, and they lose the bet, you'll lose with the better riddle.
Right. Right.
Are you saying that if we went Chicago's way and we lose, that's still the better riddle for the day?
Right. So here's if you're doing real time betting, if they start up the game and you see the Thursday night football graphics out of nowhere, I'd get a little bit anxious, because if it's TNF, I'd like Rodgers, but since it shouldn't be, the Bears thing looks like the way to go.
Okay, my brother. Thank you, Zach.
All right, welcome, man. Okay. Did I finish going through all these position players yet? I think we got a couple more to go through. But this is really interesting that I didn't realize that the Packers running back had the same birthday as Aaron Rodgers. Got to love that he had 133 carries last year. Football's 133. 5'9". All right, we got one more guy to go through. The fullback. Well, I should look at the fullback. Sometimes the fullback gets some love. Let's see. Number 45, Bears 45, Illinois 45. Let's see. Here's our least likely guy to score a touchdown. Hell, man, 46. It's the 199th game between these teams all time, the 46 prime. I'm going to have to look at his birthday. Caller?
Yeah, Zach, I had one more thing about the Green Bay-Chicago game for Mason Crosby.
Okay.
What's the significance with the 3-3-3?
That depends on the circumstance. Tell me, what are you seeing with the 3-3-3?
Okay, last season, October the 7th versus the Lions, Mason Crosby had the worst game of his career where he missed 4 field goals.
I remember, right.
And that is 333 days from that date to tonight's game.
Let's go back and look at that game. I'm just thinking, how many points go up on the board when a field goal gets kicked?
3.
Right. So I'm going to go back and look at that. Let me finish looking at this fullback right here, just in case he has a surprise touchdown for us, and then I'll go back and look at that game and how that lined up with his birthday, and just see if there's anything there. So,
all right, sounds good, Zach.
Yeah, good observation. Thanks, man.
All right, thanks.
All right, yeah, we're definitely going the overkill on the game, but my point is, if you're watching, just getting you in the habit of things you can do for your fantasy football. So often you'll see when a pitcher has a player has a great alignment with their jersey and their birthday, they have a big game, especially if their jersey connects to the team. Like the other year, it was just a gimme. Antonio Brown, 84. It was 84 days after his birthday, and back then I put everything out for free, but I just said, watch, Antonio Brown's going to have a big game tonight. First 2 receptions went for touchdowns, had a big old game, and I forget if the Steelers have an 84 connection. Jesuits 84, and they are owned by the Jesuit family. Is there an 84 connection with the Steelers? But Antonio Brown was wearing 84 for the Steelers. Yeah, they don't, but Jesuits 84. Again, Rooney family owns the Steelers. So, seen it plenty of times before. All right, I was checking out this fullback. Danny, let's just see. I know on those fantasy sites you can buy some of these guys for cheap because and if they hit, then it's money in the bank. But let's see. His birthday is what I need. Oops. I should have checked his last name, Gematria alone, too. Name on the jersey is important. He's got that 39.93 for Sunday Night Football. October 26th. Let's see. It's 314 days after his birthday. Pi. Span of 45 weeks. Caller? Caller?
Well.
What's up, man?
What's happening?
Just doing the thing.
You really going with the National Football League, huh?
Right. It's something the same thing as Vesica Pisces. Yeah, that's a huge one with the National Football League. It equals 253, the 22nd triangular number, like the 22 men on the field.
Yeah, I get it, and I wrote it out both ways. So what I'm willing to do, I don't know, I'm new to this whole YouTube thing, but I guess you got to have like a wrench to post something. I'm willing to do something for you and all 29 of your people watching this thing right now. And I guess it's going to be here to stay. So you got however many people, that could just sign on and look at this. But I'm willing to give you my D code. I've been working on this for the past 48 hours. And it's covering more than what you and your callers done called in and talked about. I've just been sitting here listening. So if you want to give me a wrench, I'll give it to you. Like this shit, I'm charging people for this, but I'm willing. I'm just tired of hearing like the same stuff over and over again. It'll cover a lot. It'll cover everything. But I would get off of that, the National Football League, and I would use National Football League. And I'm going to tell you why. Scripted equals 374 in Satan. Like I said, I sent it to you. Scripted equals 374 in Satanic Gematria. So that's that. Also, with scripted, TNF is for whether it's TNF or SNF, whether it's Sunday night or Thursday night, everything is leaning more so Packers than Bears. And this whole thing, this whole charade is going to be about Bart Starr.
So hold on. I'll just look. I know you're new here, so if it's SNF, it would matter in a huge way because 39 and 42 are numbers that show up every night in Sunday Night Football, and if Rodgers lost, he'd be 39 and 42 away.
Right, I get that. Your boy Chris, I think that's his name. Chris, they called in about the year of the pig. Is that him from New York?
Caller did call in and mention the year of the pig, right?
He do the coaching record shit. He was telling you about coaching records and all of that when y'all got into it. Is that him?
I can't remember if it was Chris or who called in, but somebody called in and mentioned it.
The guy that called in today, is his name Chris?
Like I said, I can't remember. I know somebody called in and mentioned it, but I can't remember if it was Chris.
But yeah, the year of the pig, he was spot on about that. Year of the pig is 135, 72, 189, 54. Year of the pig in English Sumerian is 810. The date numerology, you're going to say it's a lesser date. Nonetheless, 810. And like I said, this shit goes on and on and on and on and on. But I got the whole shit from top to bottom. You know what I mean? It might be something missing here and there, like the woman called in and said something about the referees and all of that. That's cool. That's significant too. It all plays its part. But I got the whole shit decoded, man. The Bears ain't winning this fucking game, flat out. That's my free pick for the day, for the year, whatever. Y'all know where to find me if y'all want to sign up. You want to give me a wrench, I'll give you this shit right now. I'll show you what I'm talking about. And you can pull it up on your screen and all of that.
Okay. Well, I'll remember you said that. So.
Or I can reveal it afterwards, but like I said, I'll do you a solid. I'll show it to you right now and everybody right now. And I charge $1,000 a month for my shit.
Okay. Well, that's great.
Do this right now.
That's great.
So it's up to you.
No, I'm going to keep moving on, man. I was about to look into the thing the last caller called about, so.
Oh, okay.
All right. Appreciate it, man. I guess scripted equals 374 in Satanic, so it's over. The Packers are definitely winning. All right. Anyway, let's see. let's see. I was going to go back and look at Crosby's bad game because the caller pointed something out about that. Let's see. Packers 2008 must be the one where he missed. Caller?
Hey, I called earlier. I just wanted to mention that I just seen the Packers will be paying like an honor to Bart Starr tonight with a sticker on their helmet saying star number 15. And also, tonight starts off Rodgers' 15th season. I had one more thing. I know you're going over the birthdays. Blake Martinez, number 50, if you didn't know already, he shares the same birthday as Bart Starr. And I know you were talking about Marquez Scantley earlier. He also shares the same birthday with Brett Favre.
Huh.
So,
very interesting.
And then from their birthday on 10/10 is, I know you said 35 days from today, but that's also 1 month, 5 days, kind of like 15.
Right.
So I just wanted to throw that out there.
All right. Appreciate it.
All right.
Thanks. She's doing some great observations, yeah? Let's go back and look at the death of Bart Starr. There's two stories that we should look at from this offseason real quick. The shooting story and, again, Bart Starr. Bart Starr died at age 85. National Football League's 85. Green Bay, Wisconsin's 85. He died in Birmingham, 58, The Reflection. And he died 137 days after his birthday. It's the 33rd prime number. Caller?
Let's go back and look at the death of Bart Starr. There's
Caller?
two stories that we should look at.
Caller?
Hello?
Yeah, you're on.
The shooting story.
Hey, what's up, Zach? Hey, can you put a wrench to that guy that called in about his satanic gematria?
I have to look up what account number he is.
Huh?
Yeah, I can do that.
All right, I just want to check it out.
Okay, let me do it real quick. Let me see if I see his account here. All right, here. I'll give him a wrench for a second. All right, after you pause it, but I don't want people having wrenches because I just worry about people getting banned. Because when I've given wrenches out before, people get banned, and then I got people complaining to me that they got banned. So he can post this thing real quick, and then I'll take it back. But to be perfectly honest, that caller, he calls in and talks real big about a lot of things, and it's just not on point. So, and also, I mean, he's new at this. So how are you going to be new at this and act like you're the master after a few months? I mean, that's just called being ignorant. Caller?
Yeah, I'm gonna let you get right back to it, Zach. I was wondering what's the satanic? What do? They add, like, how do you get that number? And then there's the other one when I know Oakland equals 115. I forgot the cipher of that, but what are all these ciphers? Like, what are those two? How do you get the numbers? Like,
Sure, so I'll explain satanic gematria real quick. So the way the cipher works is instead of just the alphabetic order starting at 1, it just starts at 36. So A is 36, B is 37, C is 38,
okay.
and it goes up to Z is 61.
And what was that other one with Oakland? I know that equals 115. What was that? How did you get that?
Well, you mean at 126? That's in Jewish gematria. Oh, wait, 115, that was the Frank Baconis cipher, but I know that 126 place.
Yeah. What was that?
That's the Frank Baconis cipher, which I've never really used for sports, but that one, capital letters matter. So you got to make sure the capitals are right. Like if you wrote Oakland and you didn't capitalize the O, your value would be wrong. So you got to make sure you do it just right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's all I wanted. I just wanted to, because I know it's like a million ciphers, but so it's just basically different rules for different ones, pretty much, right?
Right, and the thing about satanic gematria is if you write out satanic gematria in that cipher, it sums to 666. 666 is the 36th triangular number. So, and it starts at 36.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'll let you get back to it. That's all I wanted. Appreciate you.
Yeah, no problem, man. See you.
All right.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, beware of the guy who just called in and says he charges $1,000 a month, because I mean, if you've been following, he's calling in, and the majority of things he said are going to happen haven't been happening. So, you know. And he also just learned this information. So, anyway, Bart Starr, when he died 77 days before the Packers establishment day. Green Bay 77. And the dude who just called in to ask me to give him the wrench, I think it's the same guy who's his friend in L.A. His friend in L.A. got on the phone and talked to me for an hour about how he knew Nipsey Hussle and he knew Nipsey Hussle was really dead. And so, anyway, I don't even know who this guy really is, but the guy who was saying he knew Nipsey Hussle was dead was just talking big with no information or evidence. And, again, you guys got to remember, a bunch of shills hang around here and disinformation agents, so, you know, be mindful. Caller?
Hey, how's it going, Zach?
It's going all right, man.
I wanted to know if you're gonna do these type of review videos.
You're talking about the games for this Sunday?
Yeah.
We've been doing them all week, and we're gonna by Friday we'll have gone over everything thoroughly, and then we'll touch up again on just a little bit on Saturday. But we've been going over it all week already, so.
Oh, okay, that's cool. Cause I just joined your Patreon today. I just wanted to ask you know that.
Yeah, so if you scroll down the page, you'll see the ones that are labeled NFL discussion, and you'll see some links in there. So you're going to want to get those links and save them. There's an NFL Week 1 discussion thread, and then there's a packet that I worked for months on that has the entire season and all the schedules and team head-to-head records and all the relevant gematria already in there. So.
Okay, that's perfect. Thanks a lot, Zach.
Yeah, welcome, man. Take care. Okay, so I was looking at that, where did it go? I wanted to see how this game lined up with Mason Crosby last year. I think there was a riddle to it. Because somebody pointed out that from his worst game ever to today is 333 days, which is interesting, in light of field goals being 3 points. So, September 3rd. All right, hold up. Where was that game? I got too many tabs open. Where did that game go? There it is, October 7th. All right, October 7th. That was 2018. It was 34 days after his birthday. What is it? Green Bay's 139, the 34th prime? Green Bay 139, the 34th prime. So, would have been his 35th day of his age. So again, just since you guys have called and asked about some of the ciphers, again, I really recommend sticking to the base ciphers because that's where the majority of it's at. I mean, just like think about last year. What did we identify last year just before the season began? We already knew it was the Patriots, and we were saying it made the most sense. Patriots, Los Angeles, they both got the 53 connection. You know, you didn't have to go out through a million different ciphers to figure that out. But this septenary and Chaldean cipher, these ciphers are interrelated. And the first Super Bowl ever won was by the Packers with 35 points. And I always wondered if there was something about 35 in football. They call it the Tom Brady number. So many Tom Brady rituals are around the number 35. His birth numerology is 35. His name's 35. I always looked at how the first Super Bowl was won with 35 points. So football's 35 in Chaldean, and Super Bowl is 35 in septenary. So I do think that there is something to some of these ciphers, but still, in terms of looking at the games and the head-to-head matchups, I still think the majority of the information you need is right here. So you can experiment, but I wouldn't start calling games with the outside ciphers. Maybe if you see additional things lining up with the outside ciphers, but I'd stick to these right here for making your picks. So, I mean, if you're writing out things like scripted equals 374 satanic and you're making your call off that, because I mean, we just had the one caller say that, that was his leading argument that the Packers would win tonight. It's not That's not a good. I don't know. Those aren't good mechanics. I'll tell you that much. All right. So again, Bart Starr, he died 112 days after the last Super Bowl, big Super Bowl number, and he died 112 days before the Packers season opener, which is against the Vikings, week 2. So that's also interesting. But tonight's game's 102 days later, or a span of 103. Caller?
Yeah, Zach. Don't worry about dude, man. You know, I got your back, man, because we've been. I'm one of the first ones on here with you, man. So, yeah, he's an idiot.
Well, it's just like, the thing about that guy is, see, I kind of suspect that he's like because, like, it was like his job to call me, like he didn't have a life. Like, he literally called my phone, like, literally, I'm not exaggerating, about 50 times a day for about 60 straight days. I mean, who calls somebody 50 times a day? And the thing is, he calls so much, I'd pick up a lot. And then when you pick up, man, he just keep talking and just talking, and it's like, man, how much, dude? I already don't have enough time in a day, man. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm suspicious of the dude. I got to say that much.
And what I'm pissed about, Zach, is that it seems like he's trying to, like, because I love our community, though, what we got here, and I love what we got going, man, and I'm one of your few veterans, and you know that. And I'm glad you didn't say my name either, because he was trying to. It's like he's like a troll. It's like he works.
Exactly. And to be real, the dude lives at home with his mom, and he's a grown man. So,
Yeah, we got a community, man. We trying to make money. People got families and shit. You can make money. This shit is legal now, so let's make money and feed our families with this shit. You know, it's crazy. Like, it's like he's like working for Vegas trying to throw everybody off. It was like you was about to get the answer, and he knew it, and he like cut you off. Like, that's how I felt. It was
right.
Like, now he got all our viewers that's new here. Look, you get new Patreons today. Now they all confused, and you don't need that drama on here, man.
Right. So.
Yeah. But one of the insights I got, don't forget, Zach, Clinton Dix used to play for Green Bay, and we got traded to the Bears.
Right.
So we might look at that too. So we might. That's very important too, because I forgot about that. So he used to play for the Packers, and he just.
So again, for people who don't know, mcube.net's another great resource for getting sports information. Martin Brown, who's a great contributor in the community, he started eyeballing this team win-loss records in the decade, and we've never used it before, so we can't call a game off it. But if you look at that, that would be something that could go in Green Bay's favor tonight, but I can't make a call off that because we've never done it before. But if you go to a team and then you go to by decade under M cubed, it shows you their wins in the decade. And the Packers are on 53 losses in the decade, which actually means tonight they could open it up with their 54th loss. So I thought there was something else though about that. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I think Zach. Well, obviously you gonna watch the game tonight, right?
Yeah, I'll watch the game tonight to hear what they say. Yeah, there'll probably be some big clues.
Remember, Zach, you found out about the War of 1812 last year too. So
we were talking about the War of 1812 before the game was played, though.
Yeah, I know, but it was like right in our face, and you did a post that night. I loved it. So.
Yeah.
I just feel that you should watch the game tonight. I know you don't really watch it, but it kind of helps. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm definitely going to watch it tonight. I got to listen to what they say because they'll drop some clues or say some things that we'll pick up on. So.
But like you said, man, this game is. I just call in to have you back, man. We're a team and community, so. I don't know.
You get hard on other callers though too, man. You take swipes at callers too, so.
What you say?
You take swipes at callers though too. You could be nicer to some of the newer people, but.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but I know I'm a veteran, man, and I know what I'm doing, and I just try to call and help us out to get the win. That's all. So.
All right. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Okay. So, looking at this decade thing, it is interesting. We've never made calls off it, but something to observe tonight. If the Bears did lose, they would pick up their 77th loss of the decade, and Packers is 77. So, That is interesting, but never used that to call games before. And honestly, I wasn't even aware that they kept that stat till Martin picked it up. So Packers could pick up the 54th loss to open it up tonight, or Chicago could pick up the 77th loss. And again, I wanted to go back to this story just in case you didn't know about this. This was earlier this year. This story was from May 15th, which is the 135th day of the year. May 15th. 135th day of the year, leaving 230 days remaining. And in that story, you had a man in an Aaron Rodgers jersey supposedly shoot a firefighter named Mitch Lundgaard. And just notice how Aaron Rodgers and Mitch Lundgaard are both 135. Hold on, we got a caller here. Caller?
Hey, what's up, Zach?
What's up, man?
Hey, I'm a little late to the stream. I just got home from work, but a few things I want to say, man. First off, man, I'm sick and tired of these trolls in the chat and fucking leaving these comments about shit takes long and we don't ever get to a point. It's like, dude, what are they even contributing? First of all, that's all I want to say. Like, they don't call in, they don't give any advice, they don't say anything what they see in any decodes. I'm just sick and tired of it. That's me venting. Anyways, sorry. So, another thing. So last week, I don't know if somebody hacked my computer or what, but I had a bunch of notes on this game tonight, and my fucking computer just took a shit. And so, to anybody else that does decoding, back up your stuff, write it down on paper, because now I lost everything I had on this game tonight, and I'm super pissed off about it. And anyways, I wanted to bring up something about, there was a 144 connection that I found. It had to do with the Bart Starr death, and now I can't remember what it was. And I was just wondering if you, by chance, seen anything with the 144 connection.
I did see a 144 connection. So we looked at the all-time NFL kickoff game record, and right now home teams are 14-3 in the NFL kickoff game. So if the Bears lost tonight, they would be 14-4. The home teams would be 14-4. That was the 144 I saw.
Okay. That's weird.
From your decode, was there anything that you remember just off the top of your head that really stuck out to you?
It had to do with the Packers in the Super Bowl. I don't remember if it was like me measuring a date from his death to a game or the Super Bowl itself, but there was something with the 144 which had me believing in like a Rodgers Super Bowl. And, Rodgers is 63. Aaron Rodgers is 63, and it's got 63 date numerology. And I think the Super Bowl also has 44 date numerology, right?
It is. The Super Bowl's been on a 44 date numerology for quite a few years straight now.
Right, and doesn't the 44 and 144 have a connection?
If you write out 44 as a word, it equals 144, yes?
Right, so I think that's what it was, but I can't remember where I found the 144. I know it's kind of going on a wild goose chase, me telling you this without me having my notes, but I'm kind of pissed off. I don't know how this happened with my computer. I don't know if the government did it or something, because I was onto something. But anyways, so I know I seen something with the death of Bart Starr in 144, and it was lined up with something. I can't figure it out, but
well, here, let's think about it real quick. I took it down. Okay, so tonight's 102 days after his death, or a span of 103. So 42 days today would be 6 weeks. Do the Packers? Let me see if the Packers play on a Thursday in 6 weeks from now, because it's possible that would be 144 days after. Let me see who they play in week. That'd be week 7. Let me see. I got their schedule here. Green Bay Packers, week 7, October 20th. No, they play on a Sunday that week.
Yeah.
So
it must have been a birthday of either Rodgers or LaFleur or the Super Bowl date itself that I measured from, and I came up with 144. I don't remember what it was, but anyways, I don't want to waste your time. I know you're doing great on the decode. I just got home from work, so I'm gonna rewind it all the way from the beginning and watch the decode.
Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. It'll come back to you. All right. Take care, man.
Right.
Okay. I never finished looking at that Or actually, okay. So we did. It was Somebody pointed out that Mason Crosby's career worst game was 333 days before today, and then he wears the number 2, and today's 2 days after his birthday. How old is he again? He's 84. His hair's been all gray for a minute, hasn't it? All right, I wanted to talk about this story. So, okay, May 15th, 135th day of the year, you get a story of a man in an Aaron Rodgers jersey shooting a firefighter to death, and then J.J. Watt donated money supposedly to this family. And remember, the Packers and Texans played the first game in the preseason against each other. But on the 135th day of the year, you get this story. Aaron Rodgers, Mitch Lundgaard, both 135. And I said, they're already doing things for the Packers' upcoming season. That was a date with 59 numerology, number they stamp all over Black history. Remember today, the opening game is 277 days after Aaron Rodgers' birthday, which is the 59th prime. They said the shooter was a black man, and they said he was 47 years old too, just like how the Packers and Bears last year, the Week 1 game, was 47 combined points. This happened in Appleton, Wisconsin, which has that 139 connection like Green Bay. Wisconsin Packers shooting, they're all 44. You could add Chicago to that list. They just reported at least 44 shootings in Chicago over the Labor Day weekend. But from the day of that shooting to this game was 113 days. 113. That's the 30th prime. I didn't see any 30s in tonight's game. They said the shooter was 47 years old. They released the body cam footage on June 13th, 84 days before this game. Rodgers, if he lost, would become 8-4 at Chicago all time. Caller?
Hey, what's up, Zach? I just wanted to say this, man, on the Packers-Bears game. Sorry to go backwards, probably on something else, but one thing I learned from dealing with you, from listening to you for years, is that the power of numbers. Now we're talking about the Packers today won the first Super Bowl, right?
Right.
They won the first Super Bowl one.
Right. Oh, shoot. His call dropped. It says call failure. I have 3 out of 4 bars, so I'm assuming it's not my phone. Sorry, caller, man. Phone back. Something happened there. But he was going somewhere with Super Bowl 1. Maybe he's thinking 100. That might be what he's thinking. All right, so from the day they released the body cam footage of this, which was June 13th, to the game is 84 days. I did this post way back when. Green Bay Packers 84, Masonry 84. We now realize that Rodgers could become 8-4 all time at Chicago if he lost. J.J. Watt donated money. J.J. Watt was another 84. And again, the shooter was 47 years old. Green Bay and Houston both 77. They played each other in the first preseason game on 8-8, and that was 88 days after the shooting. So there's some riddle here with this. And remember that recent story, Year of the Black QB. So something I'm working on right now is really analyzing the black quarterbacks of the NFL, because ESPN ran that story on September 3rd, Year of the Black QB, Black History Month 93, a lot of Black History connections to 93. We just saw 2 black entertainers have deaths close to them on September 3rd, Beyonce and Trina the Rapper. But Deshaun Watson is one of those black QBs, and he is super talented. And with Andrew Luck retiring, the Houston kid, there could be something there with that, opening up the door for the Texans to take the division. So there's some reason they synced up these news stories and these players. So this is something to keep in mind. And we saw some big rituals. Remember in that Packers-Texans game, we documented how the first 2 touchdowns of the game scored by the Packers were both by players that went to college at Notre Dame. And Packers equals 116. It was exactly 116 days after the fire at Notre Dame. And the first touchdown scored of this preseason game was by a defensive player. And I think it was 54 days from his birthday, and his name equaled 100 if I remember right. But he had connections to 54 and 100. So we thought, that's quite the ritual right there. And then 2 Notre Dame players. So they're syncing up these news stories with the Packers. And speaking of which, June 13th, I like the Bears riddle. Again, I don't, the way they synced it up with Matt Nagy and Trubisky, it just looks too good. So all right. I think we went through all the position players. And let me see. Hold on. I'll review what we did from the position players here real quick. I just want to make sure I got this last detail because I know we got some phone calls while I was doing it. Okay, so we were looking, for those of you who play fantasy, things that stand out about offensive players tonight. Allen Robinson for the Bears. He wears the number 12. The game is 12 days from his birthday. Chicago is 37, the 12th prime. If you use the rule with S for Packers, it's also 37, the 12th prime. Jimmy Graham. Trey Burton, who's questionable, he might not play. He's the Bears tight end. So the first 3 Allen Robinson is Bears. Jimmy Graham is Packers. Mason Crosby's Packers. Another Bear who's interesting tonight, he might not play, but if he does, Trey Burton, his birthday is in 54 days. And again, when you write out 100, it equals 54. It's the 100th NFL season, concluding with Super Bowl 54. Tariq Cohen, it's 41 days from his birthday. Green Bay's 41. That's the Bears running back. Marquez Valdez, my handwriting's so bad. I think Scantling. His full name is 331. The game's on his 331st day of his age. That's a Packers receiver. So his full name, 331, 331st day of his age. Keep in mind, 331 is the 67th prime. 67 is the 19th prime. First game of 2019. And if you don't count the full span of days, it's also 35 days to his upcoming birthday. Chicago's 35. And the line for this game, if it hasn't moved, it's now at 3.5 in favor of Chicago. Chicago's 35. Again, remember the over-under's at 46.5. Chicago equals 199, the 46th prime. 199, the 46th prime. 199th game. Could we see a score right at 46? Last year, the opener was right at 47 points. Packers won in a comeback 24-23. But that game was in Green Bay. This one is in Chicago, the land of 46. And I'm sure tonight you'll see that guy who dresses up as the Bear and wears the Bears jersey, and he wears a jersey number 46. He's typically on the screen at the Bears games. Chicago 46. Big number in Chicago. Chicago Cubs 46. So, just one more time. The reason I favor the Packers over the Bears tonight, in case you got here late. Today's date numerology, 53. 53 is the 16th prime number. Remember, it's also a 26 date numerology. That was the number the game was scripted around last year, but Philadelphia is the 26-101 city. The Bears and Packers don't have connections like that to 26 and 101. The word bear, the singular, is 26. But here's why I like the Bears. One more time. If the Bears win tonight, they will get their 53rd win in Chicago versus the Packers in the regular season on the 53-date numerology, and they'll get their 95th win on September 5th, 9-5. Also, Matt Nagy. Today, the game is 134 days after Nagy's birthday, and with the win, he can improve to 13-4 as a coach. Vesica Pisces equals 134, which is the shape of the football. Last year, Rodgers got the $134 million contract 13 weeks and 4 days before his birthday. This year, the other Cal Bear, Jared Goff, got a $134 million contract. If you write out the National Football League, it equals 134. The game is also 16 days after Trubisky's birthday. Trubisky's going for his 16th win. Today has 53 date numerology. 53 is the 16th prime number. So, perfect alignment for Nagy and Trubisky for what their win record could be. Plus, also perfect date numerology to pick up the 53rd win in the regular season. And not a bad day to get the 95th win as well, September 5th, 9-5. So, to me, that looks like the strongest riddle on the board. The dilemma with tonight's game is through Aaron Rodgers. It's Thursday night, but it's under the Sunday night football format, and I've never seen this happen before. It probably never has happened before, but this is the biggest dilemma in tonight's game. Rodgers comes in with 100 wins. It's the 100th NFL season. And again, remember, if you write out the National Football League, in the most pure cipher, it is 100. With the rules of numerology in reverse, it's 134. So imagine the Bears in their 100th season. If they win tonight and complete this 13-4 riddle, they'd also keep Rodgers at 100 wins. Now, the concern is that Rodgers, what he could have going for him with the date numerology is he could get his 101st win, which is the 26th prime number. 101, the 26th prime. And his away record in the regular season is 39-41. Now, Sunday Night Football is where 39 and 42 play huge every single week. And if you just pay attention to Sunday Night Football and the stats they put on screen, if you actually watch all game and just see how many different 39 stats they put on the screen, it's amazing. They do it every week. They figure out, and sometimes it'll be like 3.9, but they just figure out all these different ways to put 39 before your eyes. And so if Rodgers lost, he'd be 39 and 42 away. SNF is 39 and 42. Now, it is Thursday night, and if this typically was the Thursday night football broadcast, I'd probably just stay off this game because Rodgers could become 40 and 41 away, and those are big numbers on TNF. And watch this year when Houston plays on Thursday night football. Houston, not the Texans, but the college team. It seems that Houston, the college team, gets scheduled a lot on Thursdays. Houston has 40 Gematria too, and oftentimes there'll be riddles between the NFL game and the college game on nights where Houston plays, just something I've documented in the past. So watch for that. There can be other colleges that play on Thursday night too that have 40 connections, but I just noticed Houston, for whatever reason, seems to be playing on Thursday a disproportionate amount of times. So that is the Rodgers dilemma. I've never seen anything like this before, how it lines up that way. But if they're doing the Sunday night typical riddles, even though it's a Thursday night game, I mean, I would say that's extra incriminating for Rodgers. Like I said, if you see the Thursday night football packaging and labels and stuff on the screen, if they do that tonight, and you're doing real-time betting, I'd be a little more cautious, but still, that riddle that's structured for the Bears between Nagy, the team record, and the quarterback Trubisky, really hard to go against. So now Rodgers' all-time record is also interesting. He is 44 and 46 away. And again, I prefer regular season stats in the regular season. If there's nothing there with the regular season stats, then I'll look to the all-time stats. The all-time stats, and again, we do have things with the regular season stats, but just to be thorough, the all-time stats, Rodgers is 44 and 46 away. If he did win tonight, he would be 45 and 46. Bears is 45. Chicago is 46. Caller?
Hey, Zach. I was wondering if you looked into the owner's records yet?
The owner records. Yeah, we can take a peek at that.
Yeah, because the Bears owner, she has like 277 losses, I think, in the regular season, and that's the 59th prime.
And here we are on 5-9.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's a great observation.
Yeah, just take a look at that. I'm gonna get going.
All right, I'll try that out. Appreciate the tip. Thanks, man.
No problem. Thanks.
Okay. So again, Rodgers, there is a shot he could pick up the 101st win. We do have the 26 date numerology. 101 is the 26 prime. There are some things that look decent through Rodgers. But that shooting story of the guy in the Rodgers jersey. You know what? Now that I think about that, a shooting story with Rodgers against Chicago. I mean, Chicago's known as like the shooting capital. Let me just make that note. Or here, I'll link the post. Shoot, did I close it? Hold on. Again, the story we were just talking about with the man in the Rodgers jersey was 84 days before the game. And Green Bay Packers is 84 and Masonry's 84. And with Rodgers' all-time numbers, he could become 8-4 at Chicago with a loss. Color?
Hey, Zach, I don't know what happened the last time, but...
It said call failure. Call failure. I got that notification.
Hey, what do you think? Do you think that Aaron Rodgers and the Packers can possibly get punked on the first game of the 100th season of the NFL?
So I thought when you got cut off, I was thinking you were making the point that because the Packers won Super Bowl I, maybe 100's a favorable number for them. Is that what you were trying to say?
Yes.
That is a thought. That's absolutely a thought. And again, there are some things that line up for Rodgers here. If the Packers win tonight, the riddle's got to be through Rodgers. It is a QB-driven league, but again, I just keep going back to how perfectly things line up for the QB, the coach, and the team for the Bears, and I can't get off it. So.
Okay, thanks, Zach.
All right, yeah, welcome in. Yeah, it is the first game of the season. They're doing something different than they typically do. They're having the, the first time in several years that the Super Bowl defending team isn't playing. So I think to me it's about 100. It's about the 100th NFL season, and the biggest 100 tribute that you could have in this game is Rodgers staying on 100 wins. That's at least the way I see it. So read about shooting story 84 days before this game with man in Rodgers jersey. Okay. All right, so yeah, and then again, all-time NFL kickoff game history. This is considered the NFL kickoff game. Let me just run the numbers on that real quick in case there's something interesting there. NFL kickoff game. 119, 65, 259, 17. Okay. So in the NFL kickoff game history, this is the first time the Bears have ever played in one. They've never played in one. The Packers are 1-1 in NFL kickoff games. They're 1-0 at home and 0-1 away. They could fall to 1-2 in Chicago. Make a note about that. Chicago equals 37, the 12th prime, if they fell to 1-2 in kickoff games. The Packers beat the Saints in 2011, and they lost at the Seahawks September 4th, 2014. So home teams are 14-3 in history on NFL kickoff games. We saw that earlier today in the White Sox. Was it the White Sox game? There were 153 pitches thrown in that White Sox game, and they won 1-7. 153 is the 17th triangular number. So let me look at the owners real quick. The Packers don't have an owner because they have shareholders. I remember the Bears owner looks like Cruella DeVille. I forget what her name is. Bears owner. Well, that picture is more flattering of her. They used to use this other picture that made her look crazy. Let me see. I was going to run those ref numbers too. All right, let's see. She has 298 wins and 277 losses, which is the 59th prime. 37 years as the owner. Watch out for her this year. How old is she? 23, so she's 96 years old. Ooh, man. All right, but she could stay on 277 losses. The 59th prime on this date can be written 5'9". Let me see. It's Virginia Kasky. All right, hold on. Yeah, I still need to finish plugging in all the owner information to the worksheet. All right, her birthday again. January 5th. It's 243 days after her birthday. Now, what have we learned about 243? That's the number that's paired strongly with 54. Remember, we learned about this through our astrology connection. Venus is 54, and a day on Venus is 243 days on Earth. We saw a good example about this. Not Pirates, Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh Steelers is 243 both ways. And remember, Darryl Drake, the receivers coach, died August 11th, which was the 100-year anniversary of the Packers being established. The Packers could tie the Steelers this year in Super Bowls, theoretically. But Darryl Drake equals 54. He was the receivers coach who died on that day 243 days after his birthday. And again for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I have to go look. A few other things I've just noted, just realizing this pattern with 54 and 243. So it's 243 days after the Bears owner's birthday. And let me see. Bears owner is on 277 losses with franchise. 277, 59th prime. September 5th or 5/9 game. Game is 243 days after her birthday. 243 and 54 share the relationship through Venus. And Illinois also equals 54 for another 54. So the game's in Illinois tonight. Soldier Field. We saw that Soldier Field's 71 like Chicago Bears. We read that story about the magician that Matt Nagy hired for a practice, and his name was 55 and 71 like Chicago Bears. But again, I think Tracy Ford says she wants to see the Packers get up early, and then she's going to pull the trigger on the Bears. She's thinking deja vu of last year. Last year, the Bears were up 20-0 and lost 24-23. Caller?
Hey, what's up, Zach?
Yeah?
This is the guy that brought you the 243 Venus code.
Yeah, you're the man.
Hey, I was just wondering if you had a chance to look into that unit area of the Vesica Pisces in the 1984 football season. I mentioned that on the show last night. I was just curious.
Say it again.
Well, I called in last night. I mentioned the unit area of the Vesica Pisces. It's 1.2284 times the radius squared.
Okay.
And in 1984, the Super Bowl was on 122, which is can be written 12284. And then they had week 14 was 12-284, and the Bears-Packers split that season. Bears won the first game, Packers won the second. But yeah, man, that's all I got. I don't want to throw you off what you're doing.
Okay, well, interesting observations as always. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
All right, keep up the good work. Thanks. Okay, so checking on the chat, I see the guy who begged me to unblock him is here trolling again, so adios. JP's the guy who's called in a few times screaming the N-word into the phone when we're doing live streams, so that's who JP is. And I'm at King Forget Bonacci coming here talking trash, man. As much time as I've given you, you're a real piece of work. Keep living at home with your mom. So anyway, I'm going to say goodbye to those guys for good. And yeah, so anyway, I think what I'm going to do, since it is a good point to watch the pregame and listen to what information's put out there. If you see Thursday night football graphics, again, that would make me just go, God, man, Thursday night. But it is supposed to be the Sunday night football package, and that bodes favorable for the Bears, along with everything else we've discussed. Caller?
Hey, just wanted to add an observation today relative to the date numerology. So with the 53 date numerology, the 16th prime, today the 16 the 16 and the 61 reflection have been coming up quite a bit. So we already saw the Cardinals 61, St. Louis Cardinals equal 61 rather. They won earlier today. I mean, there was that 70 and 50 thing with the NL record, which was just like too good, but the 16, 61 stuff was there. And then today, with the Athletics, that was a really good call too, because the A's, they went up 6-1, and then in the 7th, the A's scored 7, and then they got 2 more like the next inning. But the ending score was 10-6. So 6-1, 10-6. It's the 16 or the 61 kind of like all over that game.
Well, remember Oakland Athletics, if you use the rule for S, is 106, and I believe Oakland, California is also 106, so it makes sense that score.
Yeah, when they got to 8-6 before they scored again later on, it was 8 hits, 8 runs, 88. Like California equals 88.
There you go. And they're playing the Angels today, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Oakland, yeah, so we got a double 106 there. And let's see.
So because that had happened, it makes me think that 53 and 16 relationship that you've been talking about will probably end up happening. Because to see it in all of these games come up, especially, it was very odd. The Athletics looked like they were basically dead. And then all of a sudden in the 7th, they scored 7 runs.
Oh, they were down in a hole, huh?
Yeah, and they had walked in 2 runs.
I see.
And they changed the pitchers like 3 times in that 7th.
Huh. Yeah.
So it was one of those ones that was like totally scripted for them to lose, or for the Angels to lose rather.
162 pitches in the Angels game, baseball.
Yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to add that. I think the 16 is definitely where we're at today.
Yeah, 53 and 16. I mean, we should know it after Super Bowl 53. So.
Yeah. Oh, one other thing. So, I've been looking at a few different things. One, so the relationship that's going on, like we saw earlier this year, Bill Belichick stayed on 46 preseason wins by getting beat by the New York Giants, NY Giants, and NYG equal 46. And relative to that, I was thinking about Super Bowl 46. The Patriots came in 13-3 and they lost that. And then when you think about the other times that teams have played in Miami, at least in the last 2 Super Bowls, there have been 13-3 teams at each of those Super Bowls. And each of the Super Bowls, the loser had 17 points.
Right.
So the one kind of thing that I've been feeling out is maybe the Bears beat the Patriots and the score is 21-17. 38 total points. Florida equals 38. It would send Brady to 6-4. We already know about the 46 connections with Chicago equals 46 and the 46 defense.
Sure. Well, I think that I won't be surprised if that score is right on 46 tonight. Because, again, 199th all-time game, 46th prime between those teams. Chicago 46, and just like you said, Bears won the Super Bowl 46-10 over the Patriots with a revolutionary 4-6 defense. So I think that score is going to be real close to 46.
Yeah, but that owner thing that you brought up, can you elaborate a little bit more? Because you were like, as soon as you pulled up the Bears, you had said look for them to have a good year, and so I was just hoping you could elaborate a little bit more.
What I was saying about everything I just said about, you're talking about the Bears owner, the woman, right?
Yeah.
So she's on 277 franchise losses, the 59th prime. It's September 5th, 5-9. And then today's 243 days after her birthday, and we've learned about the relationship that number has with 54. So very interesting that their season's going to begin 243 days after her birthday. And then I'm realizing she's been the owner for 37 years. Chicago 37. So I wonder if she could even kick the bucket this year. She's an old woman, 96 years old.
Right, because it's 37 Washington. All right.
Yeah. So
yeah, and then this would be the 299th win.
It would be 299. Just the end part of that number, the 99 stands out. Illinois 99. So.
Oh, and one last thing. So I had brought up Darius Geis the other day, during one of the earlier streams that you had done this week.
Uh-huh.
And so I went back to your post about it. I just wanted to kind of elaborate a little bit more. So you had brought up, so he's drafted number 59, Freemasonry equals 59, Negro equals 59, Slave equals 59, but I was thinking more about his number and the fact that people compare him to Marshawn Lynch. And the other day, we were talking about the mirror numbers, like 4 and 9.
Right.
And so Marshawn Lynch wore 24, and now Geis is 29. The thing about the 29 that stood out was HOF, like Hall of Fame abbreviation, is also 29.
Okay.
And so you had brought up previously in your post, Geis' father was sacrificed 49 days before his 6th birthday. Washington equals 49, NFL 49, America 49, and Super Bowl 49. And then when he tore his ACL last year, torn ACL was 29, football was 29, and that injury came 49 days after his birthday, like how his dad died 49 days prior. And this year, the storyline is about Adrian Peterson being behind him. And what was standing out about that is Peterson and Peterson, just his last name, both equal 49. And of course, you had that like comment regarding the 57 that someone had referenced because he was a steal, and steal equals 57.
Right.
And we saw the 57 come up with the Blues. So I don't think the Redskins are necessarily going to win this year, but it seems like he's going to be involved in some Super Bowl at some point in his career.
Well, and it would be so. It's like Redskins are one of 5 teams that equals 54. I don't think they're going to the Super Bowl either, but maybe their storyline this year is him. Maybe he emerges as a great star in the NFL this year in this season. So
yeah, and then just to add a couple other things. So relative to that 59, Marshawn Lynch equals 159, and Beast Mode equals 159.
Huh.
So for all these Marshawn Lynch comparisons, it seems very fitting.
Yeah.
And then just to, if people didn't hear me the other day, the last thing was even the fantasy stuff that they have coming out, like the Redskins wire for USA Today. They had a post about him being the 77th overall fantasy player being drafted on ESPN. Of course, ESPN.
Right.
And 29th overall running back, like his jersey number, like football equals 29.
Right.
But that also syncs with that whole United States equals 77. And I don't need to repeat it, but everyone kind of knows the September 11th, 77 stuff.
Right. Yeah.
So I just wanted to add that. I think it's interesting in these rookies, and it might help then later on when we develop maybe a more intricate system for identifying these rookies that are coming in and how effective they might be.
Indeed.
All right, I'll let you get back to it. Thanks.
All right, appreciate it, man. All right, so we're off to a good start with picks today. We had 4 picks on these morning games. The one we got wrong was White Sox and Indians. We saw there was a chance for the White Sox because the Indians could fall to 7-9 versus the White Sox this year, and Chicago White Sox is 79. Should have rode that a little bit harder. But we did like the Tigers, we like the Cardinals, and we like the A's. So good start today, and hopefully we continue it with the football game. Again, just a lot really lines up for the Bears. I think we should wrap it up here, and we can watch the pregame, listen for any big clues we might get in light of what we learned. At the top of the Patreon, here, I'll just do it right now so you know where to look. The top post, I'm going to, again, link the Week 1 discussion thread and also the packet. For those of you who are new here, I spent months building this packet with all the team information, the schedules, the complete head-to-head record, so you can look ahead through the entire year and kind of map things out. We're going to continue to decode the NFL more and more thoroughly up until the Sunday games. And hold on, we're getting a call here. Caller?
Hey, Zach.
What's up, man?
So I found that 144 connection I was talking about.
Okay, ready?
All right, so from the date of Bart Starr's death on 5/26 to tonight's game is 14 weeks and 4 days.
It's 14 weeks and 4 days from which one? The death?
Yeah, from the death of Bart Starr to tonight's game.
14 weeks and 4 days. The only way I could see that number out of everything I've looked at playing out is if the Packers won, that would make the kickoff game home teams 14 and 4 if the Bears lost tonight. So
Okay, and you're leaning more towards Bears, huh?
I'm leaning more towards Bears. I am.
Okay. All right, man. Right on. I just want to point that out. I was racking my brain trying to figure out what it was that I knew.
And again, about the 144 thing, if you go to Jesuit order, if you write out Jesuit order in the base ciphers, and again, the Jesuits have a lot of influence here in sports. In the most pure cipher, it's 54. Like, this will be the year of Super Bowl 54, and if you write out 100, it equals 54 in that same cipher. But Jesuit order is 144. It's also 153, though. So home teams could become 15-3 tonight. 153 is the 17th triangular, the singular Bears 17. If you look through those Bears-Packers history scores, 17 showing up a lot. So
yeah.
Tricky.
All right. Well, I already placed my bets on the Packers, so I hope they pull it out tonight.
All right, man. Well, good luck to you. So go with the guns.
All right, buddy.
All right. Take care, man.
Later.
Packers definitely got a narrative through Aaron Rodgers. I just like the Bears riddle more. So, and again, there's some low-hanging fruit on Sunday. There's some 54 riddles. So I'm going to post up these Week 1 decode notes. We're going to keep building on them up to Sunday. I always advise using as much time as you possibly can before using your picks, so you can get as much information as possible. There could still be some big injury story before the end of the week. Something that reshapes the landscape. So. I'm going to link all this information up at the top, NFL Week 1 notes, and then the other thing that you really want is, let me see if I can go back here. Let me get this. And what I'm going to do during the game is I'm going to finish plugging in all the kicker and owner information, full season decode. So, and there's just a ton of information here, huge package, so... That should be posted up at the top. And let's just wrap it up. Let's watch the pregame. If I see anything really interesting, I will update it in this thread. I'll just post comments down below here if I catch anything in the pregame. But it is good to listen to see what numbers and stats they throw out. So we can wrap it up there for now. And good luck. And... I do like the Bears tonight, but there's going to be safer picks this weekend, that's for sure. So we're not going to do 15 games on Sunday. We're doing them as we build up to the week. So we'll have everything done and decoded prior to Sunday. So you got time to think about it and place your bets. And we'll do more football tomorrow, more Saturday. So plenty of time. And we already got a big head start. All right, good luck, you guys. Till next time.